It's a fabulous fabric from the land of the five rivers.
Years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
We back. You already know what time it is.
Oh, you didn't know?
50-50.
Welcome to the 50-50 Show with PharoahNFL and the Severe Raider, the realest show for Raider Nation.
The perpetuation of the greatness of the Raiders to take a professional football team and give it a distinct characteristic that's different from all others.
Make sure to clock in, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
You already know what time it is, man. It's 50-50 Show. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, man. We got a great show lined up. I know we had a good weekend this weekend. The Raiders didn't lose, we had a chance to catch up on, other things and watching the Raider game, so it's like, all right, hey, look, it's good to be productive. It's good to be productive and watching the Raiders just to continue to lose. Hopefully, I don't even know what to say. I don't even want to say hopefully they win. I don't even know. Like right now I'm at a point where I'm like, I'm looking at the bigger picture. Like Severe likes to say, strategic substitutions moving forward. We'll get into that conversation. We'll talk about second half breakout players. Tyler Lockett just signed with the Raiders. What that actually means. I know a lot of people are like, oh man, like it's the end of the world, but we'll get into what exactly that means for the team and moving forward. And yeah, man, Maxx Crosby, just comes out and just, he shuts down a lot of all this trade rumor talk. We'll talk about that a little bit. We've talked about that before, but the reality is, we know you guys know where we stand on this whole situation. It's at the end of the day, it's the betterment of the team, the Raiders. So we'll see what it means moving forward. But we'll get into that conversation. But we appreciate everybody pulling up. The night crew in the building. Let's see here. Man, all right, man. I see y'all. I just had some just pop off real quick. All right, here we go. We got Raider Way in the building, man. Appreciate you pulling up. We got Gero in the building. Says, "Good evening, fellas. Checking in as early as I do some classwork. Meanwhile, it looks like the team continues to evolve. I guess we've now become the Las Vegas Seahawks. Raiders. Yeah. Shrug. Yeah. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
You know, hey, that's sometimes that, like, you know, it's pretty common though. I get it. I mean, I feel like a lot of people are kind of, I want to say overreacting, but that's pretty common when a new coach comes in and they've coached other places, they're gonna bring in familiar faces. Yeah. So it just is what it is. I mean, we brought in McDaniels, he brought in Patriot guys. You know, he brought in, you know what I mean? Even to a certain extent, even McKenzie, I think, brought in some Green Bay guys, didn't he? But like
I think he did.
A couple here and there, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's just, it's pretty common when guys from other organization comes to a different team, they're going to probably bring some familiar faces for them to the team, but I think, and a lot of it too, I think had to do with some of the rumors about, I don't know how you feel about this. We can get into this conversation of Tariq Woolen being a possibility, the Raiders possibly trading for him, which I'm thinking about. I'm like, how does that make sense? Like, how does Tariq Woolen make sense when you drafted a Darian Porter and, you know, if anything, we're trying to see if he can get more snaps because, you know, he needs the experience. Yeah. But then you trade for a Tariq Woolen, which I'm not saying is happening, but those are rumors, right? But if the Raiders were going to go ahead and trade for him, then that would take away an opportunity for a Darian Porter to come on the field and contribute, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like you're getting a lot of opportunities right now anyway. So it's like, you know, are you really taking away opportunities from them because you're not playing them regardless? So, you know, whether it's Darian Porter, whether it's Caillou Blue-Kelly, whether it's Tariq Woolen, you know, like there's other people you have that are playing ahead of him, even though throughout the majority of the offseason, he was the guy that was tabbed as that starter opposite of Eric Stokes. So, you know, like it doesn't really matter because if you're adverse to playing these young guys, I'd rather it be a guy like Tariq Woolen out there than it'd be a guy like Caillou Blue-Kelly. But that's just me.
Yeah, he's struggling too. So it just like, all right, you would think a Darian Porter would, like, at this point get more snaps. And this is, if they trade for a Tariq Woolen, I'm going to start questioning the power dynamic in that building a little bit. Like, where does Spytek come in and just like, come on, bro, like, Pete, yeah, you're doing too much now. And I thought like Spytek had a little bit of pushback because, you know, Pete Carroll was like, or I should say a little bit more power because, you know, Pete Carroll was trying to get Amari Cooper all off season. He was staying in contact with him, texting him all off season. And then like Spytek kind of gave in at the end, especially when, you know, Myers, you know, at the same time, kind of like around that time requested a trade. Yeah. So I was like, all right, maybe like, all right, Spytek has a little bit of, he has his say on things, but if you trade for a Tariq Woolen, like, and you drafted a Darian Porter, like, I would think Spytek would be like, nah, we're not trading for a Tariq. We got to get Porter out in the field. Like, we got to figure out if this guy is good because, I got to go ahead. I got to figure out what positions I need to upgrade in free agency in the draft. And if I don't know what positions I need to upgrade, then I'm back to square one. And, you know, I don't know, man. I just think Spytek needs, if they trade for Tariq Woolen, it says a lot about Spytek.
But to the Amari Cooper point, do you think it's a situation where it was Spytek that gave in, or was it Amari Cooper hoping for a better destination, and then that he was finding like you know what, ain't no other teams really calling, or they don't have roles that really interest me. The Raiders could potentially have a role that's even bigger because I see Jacoby, he's an established receiver, but then they got Trey Tucker, he's half of a receiver, right? He's like, and then they got Dante Thornton, who was a rookie, Jack Besh, who's a rookie. Then they have a tight end there. So, like, there's a legitimate role for me there where I can probably start opposite of Jacoby Myers if I shed 25 pounds for the start of the season, right? So, like maybe it was a situation where the Pete Carroll could have made that move at any time, and that Amari was holding out until he was out of options, and then it was finally like, well, dang, okay, now I can go back to the Raiders because that's my last hope of getting back into the league.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a combination of both. I mean, I'm sure like if Amari Cooper can go to like the Chiefs or something like that, or a team that has a established quarterback, he's gonna jump at that opportunity. It's a no-brainer. But so yeah, like on one side it's options. Does he have options?
Yeah,
probably didn't have a lot. But the fact that he was texting him all off season, like, hey, like, just to stay in contact with him or whatever, it was like Pete was just trying to like make sure, like, when that day came to contact them and try to get a deal done, it was gonna happen. But it didn't work out. But the only reason I bring it up is I just want to understand the power dynamic between Spytek and Pete Carroll.
You know what it's like? I don't know why I was thinking about stuff in his terms, but it's like you ever like, it'll be like the dude, like they'll get put in the friend zone, but they'll keep texting the girl. Cause like one of these days, right? One of these days, this dude gonna cheat on you, ain't gonna do something that and you're gonna be looking for revenge. And I'm gonna be right there, baby. And that's Pete Carroll.
Man.
Pete Carroll was like, I'm gonna keep texting you because one of these days, like, these other teams gonna shut you down. And when they shut you down, come on over here to Papa Pete. I'm gonna be right here for you.
And
so.
she argued with her dude, and then
Exactly.
and then Pete comes in like, ha ha. Like, in this case, Amari Cooper, you know what I mean? It's just hella sad, like no options. And then Pete Carroll comes calling, and he feels better about himself until he shows up, and then is like, well, you know what? I'm gonna retire. Forget about this.
Exactly. He took one look at this, was like, know what? I'm good. But yeah, but like you said, though, I mean, bro, that was one of the main things we had questions about. And then we talked about this early in the offseason, because when it was Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels, we kind of knew the power dynamic there. We knew Josh McDaniels had the power because the only reason Dave Ziegler really got the job was because of Josh McDaniels. And even though the setup wasn't supposed to be that way, the setup was supposed to be, hey, you know what? The Dave Ziegler, you have the final say, right, but you work in concert with Josh McDaniels.
Right.
And that's what Mark Davis kind of understood it to be, or thought it was going to be, but obviously that's not how it ended up being. But then conversely, you had a situation where, it was Tom Telesco and Antonio Pierce. Telesco had all the power, and Antonio Pierce was basically shut out. We saw the draft day reactions where it's like AP sitting by himself, like everybody's high-fiving, AP sitting there like, okay, like, I wasn't really part of this. I would like to celebrate, but I didn't really have anything to do with it. So we didn't want that first one, and we didn't want that second one. We kind of wanted somewhere in between. And that's kind of what we thought we were getting with Spytek and Carroll, because they were super, vague about who had the final say and how things were going. And, Pete Carroll stepped in, being the elder statesman, and kind of tried to break it down like, oh, we both have it. Like, no, that's not how it works. Ain't no both situation. It's an either or. Like, either one guy has a final say or the other guy has a final say. It's not an either or. And he kind of danced around that question and never truly answered it. But then, judging from these moves, it's been we kind of know now. The actions speak louder than words. So you can say one thing, but what we're seeing taking place, whether that be with personnel, whether that be with the coaching staff, whether that be with who's playing and who's not, we see who has the power in this relationship.
Yeah, I feel like I want to say that it's like kind of like, all right, it's the obvious GM and coach relationship where it's like, all right, the GM brings in the players via free agency in the draft, and then Pete Carroll has final say on the roster, who's on the roster. You know what I mean? As far as like who makes the team and stuff like that. Like that's like, I want to say that, but then there's been like situations where certain players where I'm like, was that a spy tech pick? Was that really a spy tech pick? A guy that talks about how important the trenches are, you know what I mean? How important it is to have a pass rusher. Like you can't let go of any of these pass rushers. How like important the offensive line is. You mean like he's coming from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who obviously they prioritize the offensive line, one of the best offensive lines in football. I mean, I don't know about this season, but like over the past, in the past, like one of the best offensive lines with Tristan Wirfs and everybody that got over there. I think the center was it center or guard? I think resetted the guard market when he went to. Did he go to Miami? I forgot what team was it. He went to. I'm trying to think of the name of the guard. But I remember when he got his deal, he was the one that literally like.
How are you talking about?
Maybe someone in the chat probably get it, but either way, like I'm saying all this to say, like, we drafted Ashton Genty, and we've talked about this before. Like that's a Pete Carroll pick. Chip Kelly came out this season and said, Pete was the one that found Dante Thornton. He was the one that found him, and then obviously I liked him after the fact, and that he's going to try to cover it.
And we overdrafted him, but I
didn't expect
you liked
him to go
him
that early.
You thought he was like 5th, 6th. Hey, that's a good pick.
Yeah, Well, I didn't expect him to go that early, but it is what it is. But the fact is that they had him starting like literally from like day one, which looking back, I don't know. Hopefully, in the long run, it's going to benefit Dante Thornton because he's played all these starting snaps or whatever. But we'll see. But let's get into like the recent signing of Tyler Lockett. Or actually, you know what? Hey, man, rest in peace, Carol Davis, Mark Davis' mother, who passed away. Obviously, she passed away over the weekend. I don't know if you guys been living on the rock. If you're a Raider fan, you guys know this already. But and George Atkinson, that was kind of like that was kind of random. I didn't see that coming at the same time. Literally a day later. Yeah. We found out about George Atkinson, who was the last living member of the Soul Patrol. The guy that, for me, he narrated all the Raider stories growing up for me. You know what I'm saying? Like all those classic stories. Him and Phil Villapiano, like they would like break down like the stories, the old school Raider stories, man. So it's kind of sad, like that that we had to hear the news over the weekend, but yeah, rest in peace. But you know what was random though? When I was looking it up to confirm, like, oh, did he actually pass away? I realized like he lost like his sons kind of like tragically within a 2 or 3 year span, which is kind of sad too as well, man. Like I think he had one son that I forgot what the reason was, but it was pretty sad, man. Like he lost him like within a 2 year span, which was like back in 2019, and the same son that played for the team, played for the team. George Atkinson the third. He played running back, I believe, right?
Yeah. So it's like kick returner too.
Yeah, Huey. Yeah, man. I didn't want to. It's kind of cold, but
this was wild. It's wild, and he's worked for the team like forever. Like technically as a scout, but like. I don't know really what he did, bro. I ain't trying to do my guy George Atkinson like that because he worked as a scout, but this is one of the situations. This is a Mark Davis situation where it's like, you know what? Obviously, Mark Davis. He was very close with him, man. Probably one of his best friends in the world. George Atkinson was on paperwork as a scout for the Raiders. And I'm sure he did some things in that realm. I'm sure he did, but obviously he's a lifelong Raider, man, lifelong Raider from player to working for the team for years.
Man, and he was part of those Raider defenses that were like physical, like smack you in the face, like we're gonna like he put fear into the opposing team, like opposing opponents, like he put fear into them. And like just to hear, like just I was like watching some of the old school videos because it's been a while since I've seen like, but it kind of brings you back, like, man, this is the Raiders. This is the Raiders that I grew up like hearing about. And I'm like, man, like, you know, shout out to Murph. He was talking about this, like, man, like, is this gone? You know what I mean? Like he was talking about how like he was questioning, like, is this, you know, like thinking about it, like, is this version of the team, not that stylistically, obviously, you know, it was back in the 60s and 70s. I'm just saying like that mystique of the Raiders, is it gone now that they're in Vegas?
I wouldn't even say it didn't matter that they're in Vegas or not. It's just that, like, like you can't be the bully in the schoolyard when everybody kicking your ass. You know, there's no intimidation factor there. It's no mean and nasty. Like it's, you know, like that don't work no more when you constantly getting beat up. And we've been getting beat up for, you know, we say for 20 years, but really it's been like more like 30 years, right? You know, really we had a brief window of success under Gruden. But before that, you know, we were through most of the 90s into, you know, like from like 93 on, from 93 till now, we've been a bad team more often than not. So, you know,
that's
like
time.
That mystique disappears when you don't win. Like, you know, that's just what it is. Like, it don't matter. We can be in Valhalla and we wouldn't have no mystique because we're not winning nothing, right? Like we can be in Transylvania. It don't matter. It's no mystique when you don't win.
And it's like, it's not winning for sure. That's like number one. And then you remove the team from like the, you know, Raider Nation is worldwide, but like you remove the team from like the birthplace of the Raiders in Oakland. And obviously LA is a huge market, or, you know what I mean, huge Raider fan base. You remove them, you put them in Vegas, and it's an unfamiliar place, and they got to build that up. And the only way you could build that up is, to your point, they got to win. You know what I'm saying? And they just haven't done that. So it's like,
but think about it like this: at LA, people constantly, you know, like people are out of towners. They constantly try to disrespect LA. I don't know if they do it as much anymore. People got out here and they was getting taken care of. But back in the day, people were like, oh, yeah, it's Hollywood. It's all glitz and glamour and all that stuff. That's what the LA reputation was. So, like, you know, obviously you take a team from Oakland and you move it to LA. Like, they didn't really have any ties to LA like that. But they still kept that mystique. Why? Because they came here and they won. Mm-hmm. So, like, that's all that matters. You can go to Vegas and you can do the same thing. But it don't matter if you don't win. Like, winning is that's the cure for everything. It don't matter where you're at. If you're winning, that's all that matters. And so, like, we didn't do that, and we haven't been doing that for a long time. Whether it be in LA, when we left LA, went back to Oakland, and we know now we left Oakland and went to Vegas. We just haven't put a good product out on the field.
Nah, facts. That's the bottom line, man. You're right, man. It's gonna come down to winning at the end of the day. Like, and especially if they could find a way to put out a great team out in Vegas, that's something that would be different from what we've seen from the last, like, you know, how many years from Oakland to LA. Like, it's been a while. Even in those teams, like the last great team, you probably maybe like 2002 when they made that Super Bowl run, and that was like. Yeah. You know, and before that, they were a good team, but I think that year they kind of put it all together and they were able to make a run for the Super Bowl. I'm going to call them a great team, led by, like, you know, Rich Gannon. He was MVP and all those, like, future Hall of Famers on the team, but they were, like, on their last, like, that was a veteran team. Now they're on their last leg because that year later, it was like a whole, like, different story. But yeah, man, it's just going to come down to winning, man. And I'm not gonna say it's not gonna happen. It's just not. The Raiders are gonna have to address the quarterback position. The Raiders are gonna have to address the head coach position. You know what I mean? If it ain't this year, it's gonna be next year. because you got to coach as old. Like you got to figure out like that whole situation, which is. I actually forgot to bring this up to you earlier, but did you hear about the Robert Saleh situation?
Yeah, I think you brought it. Yeah, brought it up.
Yes. So I don't know if anybody knows. Basically, Michael Silver had put out an article about Robert Saleh, and he was like talking about the impact and how good a coach he is, and what he was able to do with San Francisco, especially this season. Like they're like the most injury riddled team in the NFL, but they're finding a way to win games. Like they were 5-2 going into. I think they lost this weekend against the Texans. They're 5-3 now, but I mean they lost like Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, obviously countless players on offense and defense, but they're finding a way to win. And that speaks to their coaching. And part of their coaching staff is Robert Saleh. We all know he's a great defensive-minded coach. He was a head coach for the Jets. But before he went to San Francisco during this coach and hire cycle, the Raiders put him in a short list of head coaching candidates. And he was a guy that they interviewed. We all know they eventually went with Pete Carroll. But in the conversation they had with Saleh, they were trying to get him to become the defensive coordinator and make him the highest paid defensive coordinator. Sound familiar? Chip Kelly's highest paid offensive coordinator. But they also promised him to be the head coach. Like they had like a plan in place where he was going to be head coach. He obviously was like, nah, I'm just going to go back to San Francisco and, figure it out from there, which I understand why he would do that. Cause it's like, why would he go under a Pete Carroll who, especially and you brought this up a lot, firing coaches year after year is going to catch up. So a guy like Saleh probably would have took that, opportunity, but since they were firing coaches year after year, and they just hired Pete Carroll, 75-year-old coach, you don't know how that's going to shake out, and then it's just the reputation that eventually is going to catch up to you. And I think that for Saleh, it was a smart decision for him to go back to a familiar place, a place where he was able to build his name up and become a head coach with the Jets. And then obviously we all know they got some talent over there too as well. So for him, it was just no brainer. But I thought it was interesting that they valued him high enough where they were like, hey, we want you to become the next head coach. But then it had me thinking, I'm like, wait, didn't the Raiders make an assistant coach the highest paid assistant coach of all time in Chip Kelly? Did they promise him to be the head coach? Which
I hope not.
I'm gonna let you know right now, Severe. I know you're a Chip Kelly guy, but not
as head coach. Not as head coach. Not as head coach.
Man, when I seen that, I was like, come on, bro. Like this is what their plan was?
Nah, I hope not. Like I said, I think the situation. My hope is that the situation with Saleh is a little bit differently because they know Saleh is still fairly young. They know he still has aspirations of being a head coach. Chip Kelly is much older, and I honestly don't think Chip Kelly still has aspirations of being a head coach. At least not being a head coach at all. Because I don't know, he doesn't want to do the college things. He hates NIL. He hates recruiting. And I don't think he wants to do it. I don't think he wants to do it at the NFL level either. I think he's kind of been there, done that. So I think it was a situation where, hey, you know what? You locked in as a kind of a lifetime coordinator type deal, like a Dick LeBeau, Tom Moore type situation where he's just going to be our OC. So he's going to be our OC. And so, but the thing I don't get about that is if you were going to do that, why not just hire Saleh? If your plan is to make him, why not just hire him in the first place? And
exactly,
it doesn't make any sense to be, we're gonna make you sit behind this guy for a few years, and then when he's too old to do the job, you're gonna let you do it. Bro, you think highly of me enough to want me to be the heir apparent, but you don't think highly enough for me to I would have said no too. Bro, what? I'm not about to do no internship. Bro, Why? Like, I'm just gonna go to somewhere I know, and where I know what the dynamic is between me, myself, the head coach and ownership. And I know the kind of pull I'm gonna have. I know how I'm gonna be able to influence the team defensively. I know I'm gonna essentially have full control on that side of the ball. And we already see kind of how Chip Kelly's been, not Chip Kelly, but that's Freudian slip because Pete Carroll's doing it with him too. But we see how Pete Carroll's been doing with Patrick Graham, where there's been meddling on that side of the ball as well, cutting players he didn't necessarily want to cut, running defenses he doesn't want to run, playing players on the field that he doesn't necessarily want to play. So we kind of see, so why would Salah subject himself to that when he could just go somewhere he's more familiar with?
Yeah, because he wouldn't have full control. He wouldn't have full control of the defense for sure. Yeah. It was a good decision for him to go back to the 49ers. Like I understand why he came from a standpoint of reputation, the Raiders' reputation. You don't know what's going to happen. Exactly. You can't, he can't bet on that. Like, he can't bet on the Raiders being like not dysfunctional. Like, the Raiders have been dysfunctional for a long time. Like, random things happen. So he there's that part of it. And then the part that you're talking about, the power dynamic between Pete Carroll and defensive coordinator Robert Saleh, if he took that job, would he have enough say on defense? Would he be able to because at the end of the day, if the defense plays bad, you know how it works. Everybody going to be looking at the defensive coordinator. And Pete's going to be like, oh, I don't know what happened there. And then he's going to fire him. He's going to be the scapegoat. We already know who the scapegoat is right now. It's Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
Chip Kelly is he's the scapegoat. But if you've really been paying attention to his team, you know that it's not just Chip Kelly. You know there's some issues. Yeah. All over. You know what I mean?
Chip Kelly too, but it's mostly Pete Carroll.
Man, but yeah, I thought it was interesting, man. I thought and then some people were like, oh man, Robert Saleh's trash and this, that, and the third. First of all, the Raiders didn't have any options. They didn't have any options. Look at the people that they interviewed. It was literally Pete Carroll, Steve Spagnuolo, Robert Saleh, Leslie Frazier.
Did we interview Vance Joseph? I think we interviewed Vance Joseph too, right?
I don't know if we interviewed him.
I thought we interviewed Vance Joseph. Well, I could be wrong on that though. That might have been a previous cycle. Been so many interviews.
So from all the names that I mentioned, you notice a commonality. It was all defensive-minded coaches. I mean, they did get an interview from Ben Johnson, but we all found out that Ben used the Raiders. His agent came out and said it, and it was obvious. We heard all these reports oh man, Ben Johnson and the Raiders are a real thing by Ian Rappaport and all these guys in the NFL circles. Oh man, this might be a possibility. Yeah. And Adam Schefter was like, I don't know why people believe this. And then a few days later, Ben Johnson is the new head coach of the Chicago Bears. So what I'm saying is that it's right now the Raiders not a destination for offensive-minded coaches. So they don't have a lot of options. So Robert Saleh, who to me is one of the best defensive-minded coaches in the NFL, and I'm like, you know what? That's not bad for a team that's rebuilding right now. They're rebuilding. They don't have a quarterback. So what they need to do is, which I think maybe there's a plan in place. So what they need to do is they got to make sure that offensive coordinator is a home run. They got to figure that out. Anytime you get, and this is for every defensive coach, that offensive coordinator spot needs to be, it doesn't matter if it's Robert Saleh, Brian Flores, Jesse Minter. I know some people like him. Chris Shula, the DC for the Rams. No matter what, you got these talented defensive minded coaches, but that offensive coordinator spot gotta be on point. And then you got to get a quarterback. So no matter what, that has to be taken care of. And I looked at it as Saleh man, I wouldn't mind that, especially because I know the team is rebuilding. Because the main thing that needs to happen with the Raiders is they need to build this roster. They need talent. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. And I think the biggest thing over the years of why the Raiders have not been good is the fact that they failed. They don't know how to build a football team.
Yeah.
Why are the with the Raiders being in the top 10, top 15, all these lottery picks, all these, being in the top of the draft, and we should have one of the best rosters in the NFL. At the very least. Yeah. So then when you do have a good, from a talent perspective, if you have the guys, then all you need to do is just plug in a coach, plug in a quarterback, and then everything should be smooth. But we got so much problems from a talent perspective. Look at the defense outside of Maxx Crosby. Who's going to be starting on an NFL team? You can't say anything you can't say it with a confident. Well, you can't say it with your chest, and say oh yeah, this guy's going to start on X, Y, and Z teams. Nah, it's Maxx Crosby and everybody else. Everybody else.
Maybe Adam Butler, but even then,
But you got to think about it though. You got to be okay. Let's look at the NFL rosters real quick. Let's go look at teams oh yeah, Adam Butler. He'll play for the, whatever team. You know what I'm saying? But my point is that from a talent perspective, the Raiders are not there yet. And then you combine that with just terrible decision making when, picking head coaches and things like that. But I like you said, they should have just hired Saleh. You should have just hired him. Should have just hired him. And I wouldn't have been mad at it. I know some people were like, Saleh, he didn't do nothing with the Jets. Well, with the Jets, what was the problem with the Jets? They had a good defense. Defense was a problem. What was the problem? Quarterback and offensive coordinator. Just every defensive. Look, it's simple. Yeah. Now, if we all had a choice, if we had a choice of who we want at head coach, obviously we probably would want an offensive minded coach, and then we get the young. I get it, but these offensive coordinators these days, the good ones at least, they're getting smart. They're like, hey, thanks but no thanks. Todd Monken, the Raiders leave him a message hey, Monken, when you get a chance, give me a call back. Never called him back.
Never
called him back.
But see that's a byproduct of, that's why I said, man, people were dancing in the streets when we fired Josh McDaniels, and I said back then, hey, y'all dancing now. If we can't if we this is gonna leave, this is gonna have ramifications going forward. And people are like, oh, severe, yeah, you know what you're talking about. We had to fire Josh McDaniels because he was. I was like, look, bro, this is going. Y'all think this is funny? You think this is a game? Y'all disrespect somebody and fire him like this. Y'all think it's funny, kiki, y'all laughing about it, this. People remember these things, and you have to the people that you disrespect now. You're going to have to deal with those people in the future. So we don't know how many clients, Josh McDaniels' agent represents that are in the coaching circuit. We don't know how many of those guys he's represented or how many friends he's made as a coach, or, at these coaching summits, or, during these joint practices or going to these seminars. We don't know. So all this is a relationship business at the end of the day. Obviously dollars, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So, the money's going to talk, but yet and still people, they remember that kind of stuff, how you treat other people, and they equate it to how am I going to be treated when I'm in that same position. Josh McDaniels is a decorated offensive coordinator, multiple time Super Bowl winner, worked with the greatest quarterback of all time, some people who some people will say is the greatest football player of all time, credits Josh McDaniels with helping him become a better player. And as soon as Josh McDaniels gets here, we fire him after a year, and not even a year and a half, a year and the year and 2/5, right? Not even a full year and a half, and unceremoniously fired him. So people remember that kind of stuff. And then we did the same thing again the very next year, and also in a very public and in very embarrassing way. After we let this guy go out and have a press conference saying that he thinks he has the job. And, we fire him unceremoniously, and then we have reports saying Tom Telesco is going to be back, and then he gets fired. So he's thinking he's going to come. So we do these things in the dirtiest, trashiest way, and we think we're going to get the best candidates that's going to want to come here. Nah, man, we're going to have to get lucky. Oh yeah, and Del Rio, right? And Del Rio, that was bad. That was bad, but that was so long ago that some of these young coaches might not even remember that. But if they get to doing their research, they're gonna look, dang, they let the coach announce his own fire. Like, so you can't keep doing this kind of stuff and then expect to have the top candidates who have their choice of going wherever they want to go to want to come to you and work for you, because there's no assurances that you're going to give them an opportunity to succeed or give them the opportunity that they think they need or the amount of time that they think they need to finish the job. Because I'm sure if you were told in the interview process, like, all right, you have a year and a half to win, and if you don't win, we're going to fire you, nobody's going to take that job. Like, nobody's going to take it. Nobody said, okay, bam, because there's so many extenuating circumstances that could take place with the head coach. It could be injury, it could be tragedy, anything can happen where you can say, okay, well, dang, I need more than this amount of time. But if you're told that all you have is a year and a half to win, and if you don't do it, then you're out. And that's what each of our two prior head coaches got, essentially, was a year and a half. And neither one of them won at the rate that the Raiders felt they needed to win at, and they were both fired. So it all adds up.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. It's adding up. And I remember there was an article by The Athletic a year or two ago, and they was talking about, like, I think they talked to agents around the league, and they had a ranking of like the most dysfunctional teams, like when they talk to their clients, and like they had to rank them, like, hey, what teams that they feel like they need to be very like cautious about. And number one, I think, was Carolina.
Panthers, yeah.
At the time, especially with the ownership at the time, like, I don't know if it's calmed down, but
how they fired the coach. Yeah. The way they, but then number two was the Raiders.
Yep. Number two was the Raiders, and I know the Raiders got a brand new stadium. They got top of the art, state of the art, facilities, and they got no state income tax, but I feel like the Raiders, it's almost like they have to overpay. Like, they have to overpay to get decent talent or decent coaching talent. Like, they have to overpay. So whoever that is, they're gonna have to overpay. And we'll see. I mean, a little bit. Part of me is like they're probably gonna have to stay another year with Pete too. So
yeah, probably.
There's that. But I thought it was interesting though that when that story came out about Robert Saleh, I was like, man. And then like the fact that like the highest paid assistant ended up being Chip Kelly, and I'm like, man, did they also they overpaid for him because they overpaid him, and was part of that deal also like, hey, you'll probably get the head coach just. But you know what's gonna be bad if they promise him the head coach job and they fire his ass.
Hey, bro, if it's between head coach and firing him, he cannot be the head coach, man.
Oh, he cannot be the head coach. No, he can't. I'm sorry. Like, he's just not that type of guy.
No.
He's not. You could tell it's very Josh McDaniel-ish.
Yeah, he doesn't. But he knows that though.
It's just, I don't know.
Like,
maybe it works in college. Maybe it works in college, but in the NFL, like,
it doesn't work in college anymore. That's why he left. He had a head coaching job in college. He stepped down to take an offensive coordinator job in college because he doesn't. I'm telling people, he had a head coaching job in college where he was where the program would have been comfortable being slightly above mediocre. Like, you don't gotta go, as long as you go to a bowl, you go take us to the Las Vegas Bowl, take us to the Holiday Bowl, like, take us to the, like, not even the Fiesta, like, take us to one of these little generic made up bowl games every year, the Kraft Cheese Bowl, like, take us to one of these bowl games. Oh, people will be fine. They'll be fine. Go above 500, win 7-ish games. Oh, you're 7-8 games. Oh, you're good. You're good. You're Gucci. Mm-hmm. But he understood that he doesn't like the NIL thing. He doesn't like recruiting. He understood that that's not his role anymore. So he took a job paying less money to go to Ohio State in I was like, the worst state. You were living in Westwood in California. You go to Ohio, like, come on. So sorry to Ohioans out there, but it's like living in Columbus does not compare to living in LA. It just doesn't. It doesn't. But so he took a lesser job, to go there, and essentially just be an offensive coordinator. And then he left there to be offensive coordinator in Vegas. So I think he understands he's not a head coach anymore. I don't believe he has aspirations to be one anymore. Because if he did, it's an easier route to go from college head coach to NFL head coach than it is to go from, like it's a more like tricky route to go from college head coach to college offensive coordinator to NFL offensive coordinator to NFL head coach. Like if you have success in college, they'll just pluck you right from college and do it.
Depending on your history, since like Chip had history as a head coach, some people had questions and things like that. So then like, that kind of comes into play where like he might be playing chess a little bit because, I think some of these guys, they know what they're doing. Like when they're trying to build up their reputation, they're trying to like, for example, like a Kingsbury. Yeah. Like he was a head coach. Now he's back at offensive coordinator. He took his time. He took some time off. I think he might have been a coach in college, like a quarterback's coach.
Yes, see.
For a little bit, but then he got his first opportunity to become an offensive coordinator. He took that. And if he continues to develop Jaden Daniels and they have a top offense, then I could see him kind of like eventually, getting another shot. Because at the end of the day, like that's another thing too. When people argue about like coaches, like, oh man, he was terrible. Like for Robert Saleh, for example, like they were talking about Robert Saleh not being successful with the Jets. How many coaches have not been successful their first stint? Plenty of them. Yeah. But then they come back their second stint, and there's plenty of examples of guys who are successful in their second stint. Pete Carroll was a great example. Pete Carroll was a guy that wasn't as successful his first time around, or you know what I mean? Or he didn't, but he comes back his second time around with the Seahawks, boom, wins the Super Bowl. Eventually, he builds a Super Bowl winning team. And then you got Bill Belichick, arguably the greatest coach of all time. Like there's plenty of examples of guys. Todd Bowles, if you want to talk about former Jets coach, was terrible with the Jets. Yeah. And now he's a coach for the Tampa Bay is one of the best teams in the NFL. Best teams in the NFC at least. Yeah. So
Andy Reid, even though he had success, he didn't get the ultimate success. He started off kind of slow, then he eventually went to the Super Bowl, and then toward the end of that year, he went 4-12 and got fired, and replaced with Chip Kelly, I think, who took that same team and won like 10 games the very next year and had them as one of the top offenses in the league with the same roster. So, like it happens, sometimes, just things you learn, you take from that first stint, you learn and you grow as a person and as a coach and as a leader, and then you take that to your next stint. I think the thing with Robert Saleh, I can see where it's like, that's like too quick of a turnaround where it's like, bro, you just got fired. So, so it's like sometimes you kind of need that little break to like kind of, hey, gather your thoughts, put a plan in place and kind of figure things out. But that's also what's different from Chip Kelly to Cliff Kingsbury, where it's like Cliff Kingsbury, he was fired by, first of all, a lot of people didn't think he deserved to be a head coach when he was hired by Arizona. They kind of thought he skipped the line because I don't think he ever had a winning record when he was at Texas Tech. So a lot of people felt like, hey, how did he even get this opportunity? Because you never won in college. Like, obviously you had people felt some kind of way about you as being an offensive genius, but you didn't even win at this level. So how are you supposed to win at the next level? So obviously there was that issue, and then he got fired there, and then there was nobody really in college that wanted to offer him a head job. Pete Carroll had a head job that he Chip Kelly had a head job that he stepped down from to take offensive coordinator job at another college. Now, technically in the same conference as the college he was in at, right? So like he took a lesser role. I think understanding that this is not me anymore. This is not what I want to do anymore. I don't want to be this head guy. Let me do something that I prefer to do. And, so I think that's a little, and he's much older than what Cliff Kingsbury is.
Yeah, it's different situations, but yeah, my point is that like coaches at the end of the day, like there's no like, I want to like if a coach didn't do well his first time around, it doesn't necessarily mean that he will do bad his second time around. Sometimes they learn from like their mistakes, and sometimes it's a situation like Todd Bowles. I'm sure Baker Mayfield is probably the best quarterback he had. Like, you know what I mean? And Baker Mayfield's playing his best ball that he's played in his career. Like, it's just like it's timing. It's you have a quarterback, and then no one questioned him as a defensive-minded coach. Todd Bowles is a defensive-minded coach. He knows what he's doing, but it's just, and that's how I looked at Saleh. I looked at Saleh the same situation where, like, he was there when they drafted Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
And that was a major, like, he's bust. Like, it didn't work out at the end of the day. And then they try to pivot from that by getting Aaron Rodgers. And that was, like, major failure. And to the point where, like, it was dysfunctional because, obviously Rodgers thought he could do whatever. You felt like he didn't have no respect. He didn't have no respect. And I know my guy coaching in the chat was talking about how, like, we haven't seen Rodgers on Pat McAfee's show this season.
That's true. That is true.
That's called respect. I'm telling you, bro.
That's true.
He respect what Tom. I'm sure Tomlin had a conversation with him, like, hey, man, look, we're trying to win a Super Bowl here.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need the extra distraction or whatever conversation they had. I'm just throwing it out there. But the fact is that, like, Aaron Rodgers is not out here doing what he was doing out in New York, just doing whatever he felt like. Yeah, man, it was all bad. But that being said, Tyler Lockett was recently signed this week.
Yeah.
And that was one of those, like, he was released last week. No one really talked. I don't think we even talked about it, but he was released actually like 5-6 days ago.
Yeah.
And then
he requested to be released.
Right. And I seen something where he's like near, like, in the bottom of the NFL as far as, like, separation. Like, he's done. Like, he's past his prime. He's not the same player he was with Seattle. He's not a good player. Like, a lot of people are, like, kind of like saying, like, oh man, like, he's here to take away snaps from Thornton and Jack Besh. If he does, something has gone wrong. Like, because at this point, I don't think that's going to be his role on the team. I think his role is just to be a veteran in that wide receiver room. I think this might mean that Myers is probably going to get traded any day now. I think that's what that means.
First of all, him being the bottom of the league separation, I don't know why that's so funny to me, but it's just like, but that's what I was saying. Like, that's why I keep saying, man, like, people keep wanting to harp on this Chip Kelly point and blame, everything on Chip Kelly. I see you in the chat, Brim Blood. You're one of those people as well. But, like, do you think Chip Kelly was like, you know what? Like, I gotta have that guy on my team. Like, that he looked at Tyler Lockett, was like, oh, that's a must get player for me. Like, we need some more Tyler Lockett's over here. Like, no, bro. Like, obviously, we know whose move that was. We know who's. So it's like, that's why I don't want to hear this nonsense of, oh, it's Chip Kelly. Does Chip Kelly play his part? Yes, because he's in charge of play calling. He plays a big role in play design as well. But, bro, it's like, you giving this man, like, bro, how am I cook gumbo if you giving me, like, spam? Like, I ain't, like, you feel me? Like, I ain't make no gumbo and no spam. Like, it don't make no sense, man. So it's like, you got all these people that are directly correlated or directly related to Pete Carroll and Seattle and his role there. Whether it's his family, whether it's coaches on the staff, or whether it's offensive players. We ain't going to talk about defensive guys. All these people who have some relationship with Pete Carroll. Like, none of these people did Chip Kelly go out and say, bam, I got to have that dude. Like, we just played the Titans a few weeks ago. They could do nothing on offense. Literally nothing. And Tyler Lockett was so bad, he still couldn't play on that team. And we somehow think he's going to come here and make a difference? And you think that Chip Kelly, of all people, said, I want him on my team. Because the players that we have right now, like he's so much better than those guys. Like, no, this is obviously Pete Carroll doing what he did, but what Marshawn Lynch said he did, what we said he was doing in the offseason, what we've been saying he's been doing this entire season. He's trying to put the band back together, but the band is old. Like, Tyler Lockett is 33 years old. Like, bro, he ain't getting no younger. And he's a guy that's supposed to be a speedy, shifty guy, and he's last in the league in separation. It's like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing, bro?
It was like 90.
You got a one-legged man in the ass kicking contest. That's what you got.
It's pretty bad. But look, like I said, I don't know. Like, we'll see, man, because we've said this like a few times this season. Like, hey, this is a game where it's going to say a lot about the team in certain ways. This week, coming off a bye, it's going to say a lot about a team as how they are going to view the like if we don't see the young players out there, that means like, all right, like Pete is trying to win at all costs. He does not want to, like, something's going to have to give here. Like, what? Because if Jack Besh is not out there, if Dante Thornton, which he's been out there, but like, I'm just throwing his name out because he's a young player on offense. If these Hemingway and JJ Pegues and Darian Porter and all these young guys that they drafted, if they're not getting any like meaningful snaps or they're not getting any snaps, then like it's gonna say a lot because they literally got destroyed by the Kansas City Chiefs. Going into the bye, like they had like 2 weeks to think about it, to actually think about like, how's this season gone? Like what's going on? What's happening? And for them to come out and they don't even like try to get the young guys in there. There got to be a disconnect in that building between Spytek and Pete. That's why like we brought it up earlier. We talked about it earlier. So it's gonna be interesting to see. But a guy like Lockett, like my guy Alec is saying, man, he doesn't move a needle for me. I don't think if he starts or gets more snaps than Jack Besh and Dante Thornton, which I don't think is going to happen, but that would be ugly. That's just ugly.
It might not be this week. Oh, we give it time.
Yeah.
It might not be this. And know what? It might not be this week. Because if it had happened like before the bye week, before like this past Sunday, like sometime last week,
yeah,
I could see it happening. But you know what? I don't think coming straight off the bye week. I think like he just got into practice. I don't think they'll do it just yet. Oh, but give it time. Oh, Pete will find a way to get him on the field. Pete will find a way to get him on the field.
Do you think Myers gets traded?
I think so. I think so.
Because I think I seen that the Steelers, they signed Marquez Vance Scantling.
Yeah, Marquez. And which is a guy we should have signed, like over Tyler Lockett. Marquez Valdez Scantling. He's a deep threat with some speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think they're going to be using. I don't think that's the value that he's going to be bringing. They're not looking for a guy. I don't think they're looking for a guy to like replace Jacoby Myers' production. I think they're just looking for it was just like a vet. Because you got like Jack Besh saying the other day, like, man, Myers has been, such a big help to me. Like he answers all my questions. Like he doesn't even have to help me, but he's helping me. And he understands like the value of having like a veteran because of a Jacoby Myers that's like literally showing him how to be a receiver in the NFL, be a professional in the NFL. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that like if Jacoby Myers gets traded, then like a guy like Lockett kind of fills that role of like, hey man, like good job, like this is how you're supposed to do it, and it as the season goes along. But I don't think he's going to take away snaps from Jack Besh or Dante Thornton. I don't think so.
I don't know. I just have a vision of like Pete Carroll. He has like a list of like aging wide receivers. He's like, ooh, and like Amari Cooper didn't work out. Tyler Lockett, let me get some of that. Like, no, yeah. Bro. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? This is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. Like, I don't want to say it's a wasted signing, but it damn near is. It damn near is because he offers you like literally nothing on the field. Literally nothing on like Jacoby. He played that role, but he offered you something on the field. We just saw what this offense looked like when Jacoby and Brock isn't there, right? If you got Brock, maybe you can mitigate it some. If you got Jacoby, you can mitigate it some. If you don't got neither one of them, what we saw 2 Sundays ago, that's what you get. That's what you get. Trey Tucker, obviously, he's regular smuggler. He's 5 foot nothing, 100 and nothing, and he can't beat nobody when the game plan is looking at him as the number one guy. We see what Jack Bech can do out there. Basically nothing. We already know what we have in Dante Thornton. Michael Mayer, he can't do a damn thing either. The run game can't do a damn thing because if they're ready or waiting for the run game, then you really can't do anything, right? So it's like, unless we have these other weapons out there to kind of complement each other, we ain't gonna be doing nothing. If we eliminate already, we don't. Brock hasn't been healthy all year, and when we take Jacoby off the field, then what you get last Sunday is you get Barry Sanders could have been out there. You wouldn't have been able to run a damn ball barely because you have no threats on the outside. So it's just it's I don't know. If you're gonna do something like that, man, at least get somebody with some kind of juice. Somebody, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, at least stretch the field. Well, Mecole Hardman, like, get people like this, some young people that have potential.
I think they tried him out. I think they did try him out.
I think they did bring him in, and we settled for Tyler Lockett. Come on, it's like, come on, man. This is not serious.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I think it's just going to be emphasis on playing the young guys, man. At the end of the day, so I think it's the right move. It's the right move. You got to figure out what you got, and some of those guys, they're going to just get better over time. It's not even just about figuring out what they're going to give you. Sometimes, like a guy like Thornton, his growth is probably going to happen like during the off season, after this season. You know what I mean? Hopefully, you're hoping like, all right, he's looking back at the season and seeing what he didn't do well, and like hopefully he works on his game or whatever. But I don't think that gets any better. But Jack Bech, I was looking this thing up, and they were saying that that like for young rookie receivers, they usually get better. They get better as the season goes along. Like they get better at some point, like in the second half of the season. And the guys that have a noticeable jump are guys that like, who didn't really play like that, but then they're starting to get more of an opportunity. But guys that already started from day one, so guys like Dante Thornton, probably not going to have a huge jump just because of like, he's been playing a lot already, and they're already taking away snaps from him too as well. But that leads me to ask you, like, who is a guy that you see like breaking out in the second half of the season, like starting to make plays? There's always going to be a guy or two that's going to be like, all right, okay, he's balling.
Offensively?
Be offense, it'd be defense.
Man, I don't see. I mean, I'll say Malcolm Koonce. I think Malcolm Koonce is starting to get his sea legs under him. I don't think he returns to the Malcolm Koonce of old, but I say, hey, Malcolm Koonce starting to be a little bit better down the stretch of the year. I'll go with that. Offensively, I really don't see anybody. I'll be honest with you.
B. Bazila says Lockett will surprise you. Okay, all right.
How bad he is. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Genty can start balling out too. Genty can start balling out if you think about it, just because like.
But this offensive line, though. Yeah. But then if I think getting Bowers back might be big too. Yeah, a little bit, because that's like a big threat down the field threat. I mean, it's not no number one receiver on the outside, but like he's gonna probably gonna move. Yeah, he's gonna exactly. He's gonna get a lot more attention. If we didn't have Stone out there, I might have said Genty, but the Stone force it's just disgusting.
And then hopefully they went into the bye and they just was like, hey, we need to find creative ways to get Genty in space. You know what I mean? Whether it's running the ball, throwing some screens, a design pass, like get him matched up with a linebacker, something like just that's another thing too as well. Is like, all right, our best offensive weapons, especially if Jacoby Myers is going to get traded, is Bowers and Genty, and then you sprinkle in Trey Tucker and guys like Michael Mayer. So hopefully they find ways to get the ball to their playmakers. So Genty's one of them. I think Jack Bech is going to start. I think there's a possibility where he could start playing with. That's and they're saying basically Jack Bech is a good candidate of him playing with, because he's going to get more snaps. He's going to get more snaps, or he's going to get more opportunities. And I feel like when he's out there, he doesn't look like it's not like when I watch Dante Thornton, I'm like, man, I don't think he should be playing. Like he looked like he's kind of struggling a little bit. But Jack Bech, I think he looks
Jack
like
Best just look bad too, but it's not
that like that, bro.
It's bad. I mean, just his inability to separate. Like anytime he gets a throw, it's like it's either on a broken play, where it's like a scramble drill, where it's like, okay, he was like, oh, Jack Best right there, man, but anytime he's been like a route where he's trying to separate, either he's not getting separation, even like I think the interception where he was wide open, we kind of criticized Geno for that, but I talked to somebody that's like, yeah, Jack Best has to do a better job of like getting through that route a lot faster. And I honestly, he didn't talk about it. We're gonna play a clip later on, but it's a situation where it's like, you know what, NFL offenses are based on timing. If you're not getting to your landmark in time, that's not something that's going to obviously show up on tape where it's your fault. But if you don't have the ability to get through the stem of your route to your break and be where you're supposed to be in a certain amount of time, that's something that is going to cause issues offensively. And it's something that from the naked eye, the normal play, like none of us will really know it because we don't know how the progression is supposed to go or what the timing was supposed to be on a particular route. But it's a mistake, and you can probably attribute that to the reason why guys like Jack Best and Dante Thornton aren't getting passes thrown their way because they're not in the spots where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there.
So you're blaming the receiver because then I've seen things where people are questioning like the offensive scheme itself, like where they're like Geno's going on a 5-step drop and the receiver's still in their route. You know what I mean? So the timing is off just based off is that Chip Kelly not it's not like is it Chip Kelly? Is it Chip Kelly thing?
Yeah. So
Chip Kelly never. I think that's a Chip Kelly.
My thing is Chip Kelly never used 5-step drops before, so I wouldn't even attribute a 5-step drop. It's usually like three steps and the ball is out. Rarely does he use like 5-step drops, and if it is a 5-step drop and the receiver's not where they're supposed to be, you could say that partially could be on the offensive coordinator, but also on a receiver. Like you have to get through your stem to your break faster, so you can't be getting jammed up at the line. You can't be trying to do too much on your break. You have to get through your stem fast, get to your break fast, be at your landmark at a certain amount of time. It's a 5-step drop. You have X amount of time to get there, and if you're not a fast guy, you don't have the ability to separate, obviously you're gonna have struggles getting to and through that as a wide receiver. So it could be a little bit of both. Like I said though, like Chip Kelly, I've seen him do it for a long time. He never had issues in terms of like timing on routes at any level. So all of a sudden he gets here and it's like issues with timing. Like I don't believe that.
You said Tribe says Best ran into Genty in the backfield and basically tackled him for defense. I remember there was a play where Best was trying to block somebody, but I think it was just penetration by the defense. Like defensive line getting through, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if that was on Besh though. Is that the play? Was it the play? He
got placed into him. I don't think it was the Chiefs. It was somebody else, but
it was somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Rosetown says Thor needs to add muscle for them contested. Yeah. We just gonna have to give you one of these though, bro. Just real quick.
First of all,
you know what I'm saying? He has the measurables and speed. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, he got a little bit, but I don't think his game though is. And we talked about this before, man. Like, I don't know if you can you add that to your skill set? Can you add being able? I feel like guys who are really good at jump balls, they're just a natural at that. Like the 50-50, shout out to the 50, man. The 50-50 catch balls. Like at the end of the day, like. You either got it or you don't. I don't know if you could get better at that. Maybe you get a little bit better, but not. I don't know if that could be a strength.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Just the physicality aspect of it, and just in terms of like being able to deal with the contact, being able to make those catches in tight quarters where you have the strength to kind of fend the defender off and make those those catches in tight quarters. Whether it's like going up for the ball, high pointing the ball, a lot of that is instinct. You can improve at it, but like as you kind of said, a lot of that's instinct. And I think I brought up before, a lot of the guys that are good at it, you know, a lot of those guys are they're hoopers. Like they play basketball, so they're used to the verticality of basketball and having to go up for a rebound or having to contest a shot. And, you know, just like the amount of body control you have to have in NBA, that while it's a contact sport, it's not a collision sport. So, you know, like not as much of it is allowed in that game as it is in football. So it's a different level of, you know, acrobatics you have to have when you hoop. So.
Yeah, we'll see. I look at Dante Thornton just developing into a deep threat. Like I feel like that might be a ceiling when it's all said and done. Like development of deep, which is good. I mean, like if
like
he could do that,
vert too, so, you know.
You know, but it's still early. But I'm not throwing in the towel for Dante Thornton. But it's just, you know, I kind of said it before you know, during the offseason. I'm like, I know he's starting, but I kind of look at him as a guy that needs some time to develop. He's not going to start. Someone else is going to end up, you know, taking the job. They're just giving him experience and giving some snaps. But man, he literally started the entire offseason all the way up into this. You know, I want to say, I think Trey Tucker might have took his starting spot.
Yeah, no, not Jack Bech, you mean?
Well, to begin the season, like. It was on the outside. It was Thornton and Jacoby, right?
I think when they ran 2-man sets, I mean it was kind of back and forth because remember that was one of the things we noticed that when they were talking about Jacoby in offseason, like he was a slot. So you know, like so it was Thornton on the outside, Trey on the outside, and Jacoby in the slot. Or it's like, huh? Like what? Like what? This? Why would you do this with Jacoby? Like he's like, you know, probably your best outside receiver. You know, is he your best slot receiver? Probably too, but that's just because you have a weak receiver core. So it's like address that. Yeah. Like do something in the offseason to address it, and don't draft a tight end, you know, a pseudo tight end in the second round. Like that's something that, like, you know, but like that's neither here nor there at this point.
No, facts. We need a number one receiver, but we have so many needs. Like I can't even like say Raiders should go draft. Like, man, that's a whole different conversation. We'll get back to this in a little bit, but especially the draft and everything like that. But hey, man, it's that time, man. It's flag on the play.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
All right, man. So what we got this week, Severe?
Yes, sir. So I know, you know, one thing I think we talked about before, with some other buddies as well, is like, you know what? Hey, we're kind of thinking that might happen. Like, you know, if Stefanski gets fired, hey, could there be a candidate as a guy that comes over here and maybe be our coach? But looking at how Stefanski handles quarterbacks, I'm leaning towards no. And just the way he's been handling the Shador situation, and it's something you brought to my attention. It's just looking real nasty. It's gotten so bad. It's gotten so bad that, you know, I was going to grab this quote too, that Richie Incognito is like, yo, what is Stefanski doing?
Right.
That's how bad it's gotten. So, but we'll hear it in Stefanski's own words.
Why wouldn't you, just to see if it does anything to the offense, give him an opportunity to go in there and play?
Yeah, obviously my focus is where we are right now, Mary Kay. That's not my focus.
Why wouldn't you, just to see if it does anything to the offense, give him an opportunity to go in there and play?
Yeah, obviously my focus is where we are right now, Mary Kay. That's not my focus.
Why wouldn't you, just to see if it does anything to the offense, give him an opportunity to go in there and play?
Yeah, obviously my focus is where we are right now, Mary Kay. That's not my focus.
Like
yeah, he's look, at the end of the day, we all know what it is. I think Shador got drafted, and that was like an ownership call. I feel like it was somebody in the building outside of the coach that wanted to get Shador on the team, and it's obvious. You know what I mean? He doesn't want Shador to, because he knows what's going to happen when he gets on the field. If he plays well, or if he, you know, gets on the field, like it's just going to be too much for him to do. He doesn't want him out there, bro. Like that was not his guy. He didn't want him to get drafted. He didn't want to draft him. I mean, they drafted Dylan Gabriel.
Exactly.
And then literally a round later, they drafted Shador.
Or two rounds later, I think.
It was two rounds later? Was it because Dylan Gabriel was in the fourth?
I think Dylan Gabriel was the third, I think.
Dylan Gabriel was the third? Oof.
Yeah, that's even nasty. That's what makes it so nasty, bro. He's in the third round. Dylan Gabriel, another, like, I don't even disrespect Dylan Gabriel, but yeah, that's what makes it so bad, bro. And like if people want to blame ownership, like the ownership, their family, when he showed up to the game, they were wearing Shador jerseys. So like apparently it's probably the ownership that probably wanted Shador. And I think Stefanski is trying to make a point. I think he's doing to Shador what Pete Carroll is doing to Jackson Powers Johnson, where it's obvious you have the talent. It's obvious you should probably be out there, but because of whatever reason, you're too jubilant, or you're too boisterous, or you're too confident, whatever it is, I'm gonna make it a point to cut you down and show you your place. And it's just stupid because like first he played the game with the snaps and stuff this offseason, having Shador run with the fourth stringers and like run a scout team until they traded Kenny Pickett. Then he played the games with like, okay, now we're not going to make Shador a second stringer. We don't know when they got rid of Flacco. We don't know who's going to be the second stringer now. It could be this other guy. And then all of a sudden, Dylan Gabriel's been playing quarterback as he's been playing terribly. And now all of a sudden, Shador isn't the second string quarterback anymore because he could be, it could get so bad that they may have to play Shador in the game. So, now all of a sudden Shador has a back injury that's going to keep him from being the second string quarterback, and Bailey Zappi is going to be the second. It's nonsense, man. People can see through the nonsense, and this is the type of stuff that could potentially cost the coach his job and potentially cost them future jobs. Because how you handle these situations, people are going to look at that and like. And obviously Shador, he wasn't a high draft pick, so it's a little bit of different situation. So it's not that valuable of an asset. But you have a guy that could potentially help you win, and for whatever stupid ego trip you're on, you're refusing to allow him an opportunity to even go out there. Even if a situation where it's like, you know what, let him get out there for a half. You were getting your teeth kicked in, throw him in after the half and see what he can do. And maybe he can rally something, score some points, do something to build off, to take going forward. He wouldn't even do that. So it's just, I don't know, man. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Nah, yeah, and the thing is, I actually like Stefanski as a head coach, or I like him as an offensive coordinator, head coach. I don't think he's bad. They just haven't been able to figure out that quarterback situation. But to think about it, if you think about it, like, man, Dylan Gabriel in the third was, I guess I'm not the biggest Dylan Gabriel guy. I mean, like that's just me. I mean, I know there's people out there that probably are high on him, but that was the guy that they drafted. I mean, I know they traded for Deshaun Watson. That didn't work out, obviously. And then, but that's that situation. That's the Browns situation right now. It's literally that the majority of the league. They're all struggling literally with that quarterback position. To be honest with you, I mean it's the majority of the league are dealing with that situation. To be honest with you.
Speaking, I don't know if we ever talked about this. I have a question for you. Just if Deshaun Watson was available for like a very cheap contract, like $5 million a year, would you sign? Would you want the Raiders to sign him?
Oh man, I don't. I mean, if it's a cheap contract, I wouldn't mind it. Like but
it's Kenny Pickett already.
I wouldn't want it to stop the Raiders from drafting a quarterback. Like they still.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Like if there's a guy in the first round and the best player available is a quarterback or close to that, they need to get drafted that quarterback. Like it's not going to stop them from doing that. But, I mean, I wouldn't be mad because one side of me is like, Deshaun is done. But then the other side of me is like, look at all these quarterbacks that's playing well later in their careers. Yep. From the Darnolds to the Baker Mayfields. Yep. I know Geno Smith was an example of that. Like the last 2-3 years, he played well for Seattle. He ain't playing well for the Raiders, but he played well. But these are guys that like people wrote off and they're playing well like later in their career. So maybe the Deshaun Watson, he figures it out or whatever, you know, but because I know he was struggling with the Browns. He wasn't really doing nothing. I don't know if it's all the off-field distractions is getting to him in his head or whatever. He can't deal with it. But
and that's why Stefanski hate black quarterbacks.
Man.
You did Deshaun.
Because of the shine.
Yeah. But I'll take the chance, bro. I mean, it's like, bro, we got Kenny Pickett and Cam Miller and Aiden O'Connor, bro. I'm taking a chance, bro. I'm taking for like a league minimum or something cheap. Oh, bro, come on over to Sean.
The thing is for me is the way the Raiders handle the quarterback position. I mean, this is an understatement, and it's like the obvious thing that anybody can say is that the way they've handled the quarterback situation has been terrible. But it's not just who they're picking in free agency. Sometimes it happens. You sign a guy that doesn't play well, but they don't even like prioritize it in the draft. Like the way they prioritize the quarterback position, even if they can't get that guy in the first round, they could have added more talent, you know, in the later rounds. But last year they got Cam Miller in the 6th round, but like, come on, bro, no one took that shit serious. FCS quarterback. Like, he probably would have went undrafted. There was a good chance he probably would have went undrafted, man. No one, come on, man. That was not a serious pick at quarterback. But they could have addressed the quarterback. They could have drafted Shedeur. A lot of people are like, oh, the Raiders should draft Shedeur. Raiders are not going to draft Shedeur. You know how stupid they would look? You know how dumb they would look? What changed between the draft and now for them to trade for Shedeur? I'm not saying that they shouldn't. It's just it would look stupid on their part. It would be a bad look for them. They're not going to do that. Yeah. Like the Bears didn't want to trade Khalil Mack.
I was just about to bring that up. It would be like the Bears and Khalil Mack, where it's like, we can't do that now, bro. Like, especially if it's more expensive than what it would have cost you, because if like they want to trade him for like a 4th, it's like, bro, well, you could have had him for a 5th. So, like, why would you trade a 4th? You feel me? So why would we trade a 4th now? Like, you're giving up a whole round of value now and basically an entire offseason and half of the year. So he should, if anything, he should be cheaper now, not more expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So if you're missing it, if you're just joining us, man, flag on a play on Stefanski, the way he's handled the whole Shedeur situation, especially the latest comments he had in a presser where it felt like he didn't know what to say. Like he didn't even know, like he didn't even know what to say. He was just like, oh yeah, that's just how we're handling it. It's just at this point, like they should just trade him or let him go, release him, have him sign somewhere else, because it's kind of ruthless the way they're handling that situation. But yes, flag on a play on Stefanski, but we're not done yet. But make sure to click in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We appreciate everybody coming through. Real quick, I wanted to ask you, man, did you watch any of the quarterbacks this weekend?
Yeah, man, I watched. I watched because I wanted to see Dante Moore again. I saw Dante Moore again. He looked much better. He looked last week. He ended up having to leave the game. I don't know. I think he broke his nose. I want to say. I know he had a nose injury. I watched some of your boy Sorsby, he was clean, man. Like, yeah, started off a little shaky. He did a lot of damage with his legs early on. But overall, man, I think he has a good skill set in terms of, I think his skill set was translated. I think I told you, throwing motion, you can probably change it. You can probably change his throwing motion. It's like, it has a quick release, but its throwing motion is like unorthodox. And I think that leads to some of his like accuracy issues. But I think, he gets to an NFL program, they're going to have him tweak it. I think they're going to have him tweak it. But no, I mean, he's a big physical guy, athletic, and like when it was like crunch time, when it was crunch time and it was time to turn up in the 4th quarter, he turned all the way up. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, like the majority of the game, like they were run heavy. Like it's crazy. Like before this game, they were actually passing the football way more, and then this game, obviously, like they were running the ball a lot. Which technically they're running it successfully, and then when the team made a run, you've seen how like he kind of took control of the game, and
he turned
the rest is history. But that this Utah game is going to be big because Utah got a good defense, and I think they play. I think Cincy plays BYU, which is another good team on the schedule for them. So that's like another like game where you could look at him like play against like better competition and see if like how he plays. But yeah, man, I like Sorsby, man. That's but he's one of those guys that like day 2, but it's slowly but surely. Like if he continues to play well, I think he can get into that first round, and then we'll see, man. It's just that there's the top, and then another thing too, we don't know who's coming out too as well. We don't know who's coming out the draft, so that's gonna really determine who's gonna go early, who's gonna go at the second round, or probably might go to the third round. A guy like Drew Aller, I don't know if you like him like that, but like, would you take him like, is like what, third round?
Third, probably third with the injury. Yeah, third, fourth round with the injury.
Yeah, with the injury.
Yes, he has the potential, but
you know what? Like, since you said he was a junior, and you said I thought he didn't have any eligibility to go, so I thought he was like a senior.
No, I think he has another year. He might be like honestly, he may be a redshirt sophomore, to be honest with you, but he's probably a junior. At the oldest, he's a junior.
Yeah, because to be honest with you, I think he's a guy that like he should definitely stay.
Yeah, he should probably stay.
Like transfer, like go to like a good program, good coach, good offense. I mean, boom, build up his thing. Because
if Dante Moore leaves, go to Oregon. That would be a smooth little place for him.
Oregon or Indiana.
Oh, that would be nice. Oh man, that would be clean. To play with Signetti, that would be smooth.
Yeah, facts. But yeah, man, we'll be watching quarterbacks this entire season.
Or Bama. Play with DeBoer.
Or Alabama. So it's like, yeah. I mean, but I thought that he didn't have any eligibility, so I was thinking like he has to come out this year.
Nah.
But yeah, we were talking. I don't know if you want to bring this up, but like we were talking about like experience and like starts with quarterbacks. And I was reading this article, and they were talking about all the quarterbacks within the last 10 years that are starters, and how many starts in college that they had when they got drafted. It was kind of interesting to see like does having a lot of college starts really determines like how successful a quarterback is. I don't think it's as black and white, but I'm not gonna lie, when it's less than 20 starts, that's when it kind of gets shaky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got Bo Nix, who has 61. Then you got like the Anthony Richardsons, who have 13. You know what I mean? And you got Matthew Stafford, who has 34. You got Mahomes, who has 29. Josh Allen had 25 when he got drafted. You know, like there's plenty of guys that were like in the 30s and 40s, but like when it gets that less than 20 starts, and the reason why it's relevant and we're talking about it is because some of the top quarterbacks, like the Dante Moores, you know, if he continues to play the entire season, probably going to finish less than 20 starts, like around 19, 20 maybe. And then Ty Simpson, same thing, 14. Yeah. You know what I mean? Maybe a little bit more than that, but it's probably going to be less. It's going to be less than 20. So it's like, damn, like, do you draft a guy high with that much experience, or is there exception to the rule? Like, is it going to work out? There hasn't been a lot of like good examples of guys that's been successful who had really like that many starts. I mean, Mac Jones had 17 coming out of Alabama. He looks like he don't look too bad. Yeah. Kyle Murray, you know, he's kind of been up and down in his career. He's had like what? I think he had 17 as well. Let me see. Who are other quarterbacks that were less than 20? Let's see.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, Joe Burrow would have more. He started 2 years at LSU.
That's Drew Aller's comp.
Joe Burrow.
Not Joe Burrow. Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco. He's more mobile than Joe Flacco, but yeah, I can see that though.
More mobile than Joe Flacco. Okay.
He's more mobile than Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is.
Well,
Joe Flacco is barely above.
You know what's disrespectful? You know what's disrespectful comp for Drew Aller?
Oh, Derek
It's
Carson.
a blast from the past, man. Kerry Collins.
Gary Collins. Yeah, that's hella disrespectful because he's not a statue, bro. That's the thing. He's not a statue. He's not like his mobility. His mobility is like, I guess, like Jameis level mobility, where it's like he's more of a pocket passer, but he can move. You don't want to. He ain't gonna be like running around like doing crazy stuff, but he can move. Like, yeah, Flacco was like a damn near statue. Then Kerry Collins was for sure cement boots. Like, you know exactly where Kerry Collins gonna be on every play, bro, in the pocket.
Right. Nah. He was like the opposite of mobile. The opposite. He was a statue for sure. Him and Drew Bledsoe were like blood cousins or brothers. You know what I mean? Like they did not move at all, but they had arm though.
Oh yeah, they had arm.
Bledsoe had crazy arm. Kerry Collins had like a cannon.
Kerry Collins had a crazy. His throwing motion was like.
Oh, it was clean. Oh,
that's teach tape right there, bro. It's teach tape. Like right
it was
there.
That release was clean, but to be if you wanted to be very critical or nitpicking, it was slow.
Yeah,
but everything about Kerry Collins was slow.
Yeah,
it was just slow. So maybe it's just him. He's just a slow like type of player. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't an athlete, but his release was clean. You know who also had a clean release? Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler did have a clean release. Yeah, Jay Cutler,
like you knew, like when the way he threw it, it's like, oh yeah, he got a cannon. You know what I'm saying?
Cannon. Jay Cutler had a cannon, bro. He could. Yeah, Jay Cutler had. Yeah.
Who else had a nice release? Who else had a nice? Oh, Vic. You say Vic?
Vic release was nice. It was fast too. Vic had a quick release
fast,
too,
and it was just like a flick. It was like man,
a flick, yeah. He had a
crazy
move it. I know Phillip Rivers had the ugliest release front.
It was disgusting.
That's disgusting. Oh boy, Sorsby's not that bad, boy. Sorsby, that's the first thing I noticed. I was like, all right, let me see this dude Sorsby do. I was like,
I don't think his release ain't that bad. You know, he got a baseball background too.
Yeah, you see those guys have some clean releases, but his was just, it was fast. I was like, when I first saw it, he was like, he got a quick release, like it's super quick. I was like, this shit like. It just automatically stood out to me. It was like this shit. It's like I was like ugly, but it was just like what? Like is like I was like, all right. I was like, maybe I think because he was like it was a rollout. I think he was rolling out. So it was like, all right, well maybe he was rolling out. It's like he was trying to. He just threw it like that because he had to fit the ball to a certain window. Let me see it again. But like every time, I'm like, yeah, man, he got to he needs to work on this release because it's like it's not quite like sidearm, but it's not really 3/4. It's like, I don't know. And it's like super low. I know it's just different. I mean, he's effective with it, but and it's like I said, it's quick. His release is quick, but I think NFL teams, a lot of them are going to try to have him change it. Now, if it's a situation where it's like, you know what, he doesn't have success with it, then they'll probably let him do what he does. But I think NFL coach is gonna probably have like, you know what, we got to work on this.
I wonder how much they're gonna change it though. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're gonna change it like that. Like maybe I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna look. But here's the list of guys under 20 starts.
ECG said Aller has no eligibility left.
Oh, see, so he got to come out. He got to come out.
Yeah, so he got to come out.
He got to come out. All right, so here's the quarterbacks that have under 20 starts. Mitchell Trubisky with 13, Anthony Richardson 13, Dwayne Haskins 14, Kyle Murray 17, Trey Lance 17, Mac Jones 17. So you see, like that's if a quarterback coming in with 20, man, it's kind of like
Man, Drew.
But
man,
that's what I'm saying. ECG, I feel you. Me and you on the same page on it because I don't think it's that bad, bro. It's not Phillip Rivers. It's not Phillip Rivers.
Nah, it's so
It
bad.
sounds like
Anybody.
You're comparing it to Phil Rivers low key. Like the way you're comparing it.
It's just weird, bro. Anybody that says he has a perfect release,
I'm not saying
it's a perfect release.
I'm not saying it's perfect, but
you smoking on that one, bro. It's weird. That's the first thing I noticed, bro. That's the first thing I noticed is like this dude has a funky release. Like, but if it's effective, like some people have weird jump shot. Like, if it's effective, it's effective. You can make it work. But I'm telling you, like I think you. And look, what's crazy is that I said it to you earlier in the day, and then you put on IG. The guy's like, yeah, he's gonna have to work on his release. And I'm like, bro, that's the first thing you notice when you see him play. Is like, this is a weird release.
Nah, I mean, I don't think it's that bad though. But you were saying more like you're saying that it was low, like his release is low,
and I think it leads to accuracy issues because it's like it's not really like I don't think the mechanics are not super repeatable. That's the main thing about like so like when you have like you shoot a jump shot, it's like you want to shoot the same way every single time, and like if you're I almost try not to say stroke, but if it's not consistent, then like the ball's gonna be if it's not repeatable mechanics, then you're not gonna ever be able to have like a consistent jump shot because you're always gonna be shooting slightly different. And I think his mechanics, his throw motion is like that.
Ooh, Vince Young was kind of nasty too. Yeah, it was nasty.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Rivers was the worst. Vince Young was weird too though. It was like super elongated too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of anybody else. Like the best releases to me were like the Kerry Collins and like those are good ones. Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
And Vic had a nice release too. I'm trying to think. You know what? Aaron Rodgers was
Aaron Rodgers is smooth. Aaron Rodgers wasn't bad. I think Jared Goff got a smooth one too. I think Jared Goff's release is clean too.
You know what was nasty? You know what's nasty? Jeff Garcia.
Oh yeah. Now Dan Marino had a clean one too though. Dan Marino did have a clean one.
Jeff Garcia was disgusting.
Jeff Garcia was disgusting. Everything about Jeff Garcia playing quarterback was disgusting. That fool won though, bro. I can't even. That fool won. Everything about it was disgusting, but that fool won, man. That's it. But yeah, see, I was looking at Drew Aller right now. He's only 21. That's not that. So that's why I was thinking. Because I remember he was 20 last year. I remember they kept talking about that during the playoff. Like he's only 20. So that's what I thought. Like
man, like Drew Aller's like an interesting. Like I'm not gonna lie. Just thinking about like his skill set and his talent and like his age. It's like man, like I don't know what. See, we don't know who's gonna come out, but like obviously right now we're like, oh, he's probably gonna be third round because he hurt and he didn't have a good season this season based off like a lot of different reasons, but. Man, like I could see a team picking him. Like I could see a team picking him a little bit earlier than the third round too. If I could,
Aller off potential,
off of the traits,
and he's only 21 too. That's what I'm saying. That's what I thought. I thought he could only be. I thought he got to be like a junior because he just turned 21 like this year.
Trey Simpson is like 23. Let me see.
The same thing with Dante Moore. Dante Moore is a red shirt. Dante Moore is a junior. I think he's a red shirt junior, and he's a red shirt junior. I want to say so, and he's 20.
Oh damn! Yeah, he's right. College career ended. Basically, his last game was this year when he got hurt.
Damn, that's crazy. So he must have never redshirted then.
Let me see. Yeah, like he's preparing for the NFL draft.
That's crazy. Damn,
no medical red shirt. No medical red shirt because he played 6 games during the 2025. So he is not eligible for medical shirt.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. Warren Moon. Oh yeah, Warren Moon. Whew. Warren Moon, man.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, we're not done yet, man. We got notable quotables. That time.
Yes, sir.
It's fine. We find quotes that we feel like is notable. I want to talk about real quick. What's the first quote for us, Severe?
first quote, man, I thought this was a little bit interesting. It's not necessarily relating to any Raiders now, but it could be something we have to consider drafting Raiders in the future. And it's Amik Robertson talking about, he's on the St. Brown podcast with Amon Ra and Equanimous. They asked him a question about, like, what was Vegas like from a guy like coming from Louisiana going to Vegas, and he had an interesting answer.
I don't really gamble before like the party. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I was doing that my first 2 years. I was doing that a lot. I was doing that a lot, bro. I'm talking about my girl, bro. I was doing that a lot, bro. But it's the reason on why I was doing that too, bro. Like, I don't want to go in too deep.
Right.
But
No, get a little bit.
Tough.
Tell me.
Vegas was tough, bro. Like, you gotta understand. I come in, I get drafted there. Everybody love me. You know what I'm saying? Then they moved me to nickel. Never played that in my life. That shit was like Chinese, bro. Like, they just threw me in the water to play nickel, bro. And I didn't even understand nickel, right? Didn't perform the way, you know what I'm saying? Well, now everybody, everybody like, they kind of turning their back on me, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, then we didn't have OTAs, you know what I'm saying? We didn't have, because of COVID, we didn't have none of that. So I had to learn from the iPad. Like, it's different when you looking rather than really doing it, you know what I'm saying? And when I got out there, bro, them bullets was flying. I just couldn't handle it. And 2 years straight, bro, I was like, I ain't lying, bro. I was in a bad place, bro. And that's what forced me to go out a lot. Like, when you don't feel accepted, when you just got in high school, middle school, and college, and you everybody love you, but then when, you get to the league and, like, they start to love you a little bit, but then people start turning their back on you, it's like, I feel like the clubs, going to the clubs, around all these people, I felt love, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I was just going out every night, you know what I'm saying? But eventually, I ended up finding myself again and was like, nah, but that's not me. You know what I'm saying? I had to get back.
Interesting. I mean, I think a lot, because I think I seen this earlier, and some people were trying to imply like, oh, what did he mean by I didn't want to get into it and it was tough? I think a lot of it had to do with just his experience as far as like he's mentioning, like the position change. Yeah. And then maybe he didn't get along, maybe some of the coaching staff, maybe.
Yeah.
And then, he's not from Vegas, so it's like a whole culture shock. You go into a different city, coming out of, college or whatever. But that was kind of interesting. But Amik was one of those guys, man, like he was like a locker room favorite. You could tell, like, people loved him in the locker room, even fan favorite. He made plays with the team and whatever. It's just that it was just a matter of like the Lions went out and just paid for him. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the Raiders only viewed him as like I think at that time they viewed him as like a fourth corner. So at that point they were just like, that's a little bit, a little too much. I mean, is he like what is he on the depth chart? Is he like the third corner?
I think he's third. He plays a lot. I don't know. He plays a lot, but
injuries too. Part of that is
injuries. But I think he was playing pretty nice amount last year. Remember, he had like the real good game against somebody. He's been playing well since last year. Like, he's been playing quite a bit for some time now. So yeah, man, I just found it interesting. But he said, first of all, he said he wasn't going to get into it, but then they pried, and so he got into it. Because I think some of it was talking about like dealing with the COVID and dealing with the coaching, dealing with the position change, and having to learn out the iPad. Then he was saying like he didn't feel that coaches believed in him. So I think he got into what he was on. Like what he kind of was alluding to. I don't think he was on like go all the way down a rabbit hole and talk about all of that stuff. But they kind of pried. So like he felt they didn't believe in him. So he felt like like he wasn't getting the love from people on his team or people in the building. So he was kind of looking for that love, in other places. So hey, when you play for the Raiders, the people in the building might see, oh, you're fourth corner, fifth corner, but you go out and hit the nightclub, like you millionaire NFL player. So it's like, oh, it's a whole different different kind of vibe, whole different kind of love. So I kind of sympathize with him on that aspect, especially being an outside corner his entire life, and being coming to the NFL, being told essentially, hey, you know what, you're too short to play outside here. We're going to play you in a nickel, something he never really played before. And nickel, as we know, like that's probably the toughest position on the football field physically, just because you kind of have to be like a linebacker, safety, and a corner all at the same time. So is different than being
it's a lot
behind
of
LaMarcus
space.
Joyner. Yeah, and there's a lot of all the guys have two-way goals, so and then a lot of teams are playing their best receiver in the slot too, so you still dealing with the guy. So it's like it's tough. So I sympathize with them. So, but that's a kind of a lesson to kind of have in the back of your coach's head. Just make sure these guys, and the Raiders are kind of already doing that, where they're talking about we're drafting people over players, and that's why we rang up your boy Mendoza. It's like all he got is a LinkedIn and a YouTube account. Got nothing else but LinkedIn and YouTube.
Bro, Mendoza scares me, man. Mendoza scares
Mendoza
me.
is fake, bro. Mendoza's fake. All that's rehearsed.
But the thing is though, like, to be fair, like, even though like he scares me a little bit with it, like the just off the field, where I'm just looking at, I'm like, oh my God, is this a franchise QB? But did you feel that way with Andrew Luck? When I heard him talk, I was like, oh my God, like, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean? Eli Manning, same thing. I was like, ugh, like, you're a Manning, what I mean? You're Peyton Manning's brother or whatever. But they are all successful quarterbacks. So it's not. I wouldn't say it's the end all be all. Like, as far as like.
But no, it's not about corny. Like, corny, I don't mind. Like, if you're corny, I don't care. Like, if you're corny and that's just who you are, I'm cool with that. I just want somebody to be you. If you're being you, you notice when Tiger Woods wasn't out there, taking side pieces to IHOP or whatever, like, he started playing bad. You're like, he wasn't being Tiger no more. When Deshaun Watson stopped getting massages, he ain't been the same since. Like, you got to be who you are to play well. And everything about Mendoza feels like it's rehearsed. And he's been schooled and drilled. This is what you want to say. This is what people are going to ask you. So these are the answers you got to give. Like, I don't have any social media. All I have is a LinkedIn. And you like, nah, bro, you being fake. Like, even like after a game, they ask them a question. It's like, oh, my offensive line. I think my offensive line is. It doesn't seem like a legitimate answer. It just seems like all rehearsed, and he's been drilled, and he's like schooled on what to say and media training, and it's all fake. Like, I want you to be real. If that's who you are, the person you are, just be real. Just be genuine. Like, if you're corny, you're corny. If you're gangster, be gangster. Like, I'm cool. Just be yourself. But once I see you're trying to put on a facade to fool people, then I'm starting to question who you really are. And if I got to question who you are as a person, then I got to question who you are as a in the locker room, as a teammate, as a leader, and as a player, because I can't trust anything about you because you're putting on fronts.
It's hard though, because like, at the end of the day, like, every quarterback is gonna try to be politically correct too, as well. Like, they're gonna say what needs to be said. They're not gonna say more than that. They're not gonna be controversial. You know what I mean? Because they're the face of the team, and they don't want to bring that type of attention. So it's kind of like, I don't know. We're nitpicking, but I don't know. Mendoza. I mean, did you watch? Did you watch that UCLA game? Because they just.
No, I didn't watch it. I told people we was gonna get smashed, man. So I already knew what time it was. I didn't even want to watch it.
The best team that they have left on the schedule, I think they play USC.
They play USC. Yeah, USC is up and down, but yeah, that should be a good game.
But I'm just saying, as far as ranked teams, I think USC's ranked. So like, that's like the only other ranked team that they play on their schedule. So, but man, I mean, it sounds like he probably gonna be the number one pick, man, when it's all said and done. To be honest with you.
Yeah, man,
like the way it's looking.
Quite possibly.
You know what I mean? As far as they're winning, they're like the number 2 team. They're probably on their way to a national title game. It's a done deal if they win it. Even if they don't win it, he's still going to be considered probably like the best quarterback in the league, coming out of college, just based off like, probably might have a good chance of winning the Heisman too.
Oh, very good. If he wins out and he continues to play well, I mean, he'll have a good chance of winning the Heisman.
Yeah, it's just, and then you got to think about who's coming. That's why I'm like, bro, like, I don't know if Dante Moore is coming out, bro. I don't think he's coming out.
I mean, in this quarterback class, I think he should, man, because there's no real like clear cut guys. Like, he's already in the top 3 or 4. already.
Because-
And if he closes out the year strong, he could easily put himself in the 1 or 2 spot.
Because
wanted
that's
to,
what we
you
said
have to.
last year, though. That's what we said last year, where it was just like, oh man, like there's a few guys that didn't come out. Like Drew Aller should have came out.
Yeah, Drew Aller should have came. And look at Drew Aller now. that's the case. That's the lesson right there.
Case
A
study.
lot of
right
guys,
there.
a lot of guys are gonna look at that and say, "Know what? If I'm going to be a surefire first round pick, I gotta go. I have to go."
Yeah, let's see. Like Phil said, he's kind of coach. Man, shout out to everybody pulling on. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
Big Ange on Twitter, they sent me. They said, "Man, like they're responding to that what you had sent the Mendoza thing," and he's like, "Yeah, man, this dude makes Russell Wilson look like Deion Sanders." That's what he said.
Oh yeah. I got. That's funny, and it was funny because when I seen it, I was like, "What the?" Like this is before my natural reaction. I was like, "Damn, like what the hell? Like why is he?" It was like way too like,
It seems so rehearsed, bro. It just seems fake.
Exactly. But then, and I was looking at the comments, and everybody was saying, like one guy was like, "Man, like it's gonna be interesting because, like he's not like a first round QB off the field." Basically, he's talking about like what you're talking about, but
like
we're
having
nitpicking
charisma and leadership and stuff. Like, yeah, you nitpicking. Like I said, like Tom Brady saying that, like, oh my god, Tom Brady's like, talk to me some more. Like,
oh man, yeah. But I don't know. Maybe some people don't agree. There are a lot of people who don't agree with like that. They're like, man, if he can, hey, as long as he's accurate and can be productive, that's all that matters. But
the other stuff matters, man. People don't realize how much the other stuff actually matters. Like, you ain't got to be like, but you gotta have some swag to you. But like, perfect example, just like a Jackson Dart, bro. Jackson Dart is not a perfect quarterback. He's not super accurate. He ain't but bro, just being out there or having that charisma and having the ability to inspire people around you, that's a force multiplier. When you have that ability in you and you can translate that confidence, you're so confident that you make other people confident. And that's what turns the Commanders from picking number 2 overall to the NFC Championship game. That's what turns the Texans from, being the laughingstock of the league to, winning the division 2 years in a row, winning two playoff games. Like, that's what happens when the guy is so confident, he makes other people confident. Like, but when you don't have that, or you're just like, people don't believe in you, and like who was this guy? Like, that's when it's difficult.
Yeah. We still got another notable quotable. Severe, what we got?
Oh, this is so Marshall Newhouse, obviously the former Raider, former NFL player, he's been around the league, obviously offensive lineman. He was talking about some of the Raiders' offensive struggles, and I think he said some very interesting things.
Gino has made his fair share of like forced throws and mistakes, but we've seen what he can do when guys are breaking when they're supposed to break. Like a lot of these deep end breakers and the sail routes, there's a very clear progression of when his back foot hits, he's ready to rip it. And I don't know if it's, some of it's urgency off the line and receivers in their release, how they're stemming their release, and maybe they're doing too much. This new era of receivers that are getting a lot more instruction on route running in the offseason. And it's a lot of times, I've heard this from Hall. There's not as much urgency just getting into the route and vertical. And because so much of that is timing based. And what we're seeing is that, there's a lack of trust in the timing. And so I think earlier in the season when they wanted to push the ball down the field, once you lose Brock Bowers, he's forcing some balls in places that probably shouldn't have been forced because he's not getting the timing and the synced up nature with the receivers that I think he's used to. And so I agree with that. I think some of that is savvy. A lot of that is play design. Listen, there's coaches, there's coordinators all over the league that I don't think have as complicated as a scheme, but they have 8 or 9 concepts they run to a T, and then they could window dress them and make them look different from formation and motioning pre-snap. And so it's not really about there being anything new under the sun that Chip Kelly needs to do or call. There's a level of execution that I think has been missing.
Man. Yeah, man. Check. That's Newhouse, man. He's doing his thing over there with the Just Win podcast with him and Ted Nguyen. So it's just a perfect storm of just how the Raiders season could go wrong, especially on offense. From the timing, from Bowers being out, the timing being off, from Chip Kelly not helping either. You know what I mean? From a play. But hopefully, you know, if I could see some improvement, because I know I kind of been like, oh man, it's the end of the world, like it's done, like get rid of these guys. But like if I can just see some improvement from the team, from the players on the team, from at least from a coaching's perspective, like they're playing better within the offense, the defense. I mean, the defense is kind of like there's not talent. Like I think just anytime they're gonna play a good team, they're gonna get exposed. But offensively, I feel like we could play. I feel like there's room for growth there. Like they could play better, and they just haven't. Especially with guys like Genty. Like I feel like he should be more productive. He should be playing better. Obviously, Geno can play way better. And then then you talk about some of the receivers. Like there's room for growth for them because they're young players. They're still trying to figure it out. And then you got Brock Bowers. If he comes back, I think hopefully he's gonna make everything smoother for everybody else. But we'll see, man. What did you think of his take?
Yeah, man. Some of it got cut off, but some of the other things you talk about. Obviously, you talked there about just the timing of the plays, guys not getting into their stamps quick enough. I think it's something I kind of talked about earlier. But he was talking about like just the sequencing of the plays, just like calling the right plays in the right situations, and that's kind of on Chip Kelly. Obviously, not seeing a lot of 12 personnel that we kind of thought we were going to see earlier in the year. That's kind of on Chip Kelly too. Even though if you want to be in 12 personnel, you kind of got to be able to run the ball better. So if you can't run the ball, teams aren't going to respect your 12 personnel. But so it's just like a whole bunch of issues. But hoping to see, like I said, I think there's been a kind of a heavy-handed approach from Pete Carroll in terms of his involvement in the offense. Hopefully, they were able to take this bye week and say, back off. Let me do my thing. I'm here for a reason. Let me do what I do, and this offense get back on track. We might end up seeing a trade from a trade of Jacoby Myers. If that happens, Jack Best can play more in his natural position, which in the NFL, which I think should be as a slot receiver. I think if he's able to do that, then we'll be able to take better advantage of his skill set, which is being physical and his route running, being a little bit of a better route runner, having strong hands. He can do a lot of that stuff in the slot as well. He's a good blocker as well. So I think if Jacoby isn't here, that obviously opens up a big lane for him. So you should see some more out of him. And then just seeing more out of Geno, taking just this bye week to kind of look at the season holistically, see where he's been messing up at, get on the same page with some of his receivers, talk to his offensive coordinator, obviously, and just get everybody just synced up and to be on one accord. And if we can do that, I think we'll see some improvements. How much of an impact that will ultimately make, that remains to be seen, especially with this offensive line. But we'll see better football. I don't want it to be too good because obviously I'm on this SS train. But for the fans that are hoping to see a better product on Sunday, I think this bye week it should do at least a little bit something offensively for us.
Man, shout out to you, Mason. What do y'all think to improve over this bye week? I mean, Severe pretty much talked about it a little bit here. For me, I don't think there's not anything too much they can change from like offensively. They're not going to have a whole different playbook. You know what I mean? Defensively, they're not going to have a whole different playbook. It's just more like, all right, we need to get this guy involved more. Maybe like we need to find ways to get this guy. Like I'm sure they're gonna have something there for Genty. Guys like Brock Bowers is coming back is gonna be a big huge boost for that offense too as well. Maybe Chip Kelly could step back a little bit and be like, all right, well, maybe some of the things that I did early on, maybe I need to go under center a little bit more. I'm sure like Pete Carroll is going to have that conversation, to your point, Severe, as far as how much influence he's had on this the offensive coaching staff with all the coaches he has. He's probably going to have a conversation with Chip and be like, hey, look, like this is what we're doing right now is not working.
Yeah.
And we have this many games of proof and evidence that it's not working. Everything that we're doing in shotgun and da-da-da. So maybe does Geno go under center a little bit more? So it's a lot of that. But I think defensively, I don't think there's too much that they can do.
No, not really.
There's nothing they can do, man. Outside of benching Kelly and putting Darian Porter out there.
But we know who's behind that though.
And playing some of the young guys too on the defensive line. You know, that's about it.
You know who's behind that. I think all roads lead to one place, and it's kind of.
Yeah, man, it is what it is. We'll figure it out, man. I'm telling you, this Jaguars game is going to tell us a lot about the season and how it's going so far. I mean, not as far as winning or losing, just about like who's out there playing. But yeah, we appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We got a what's real, what's not. Sphere, what did we say that the what's real, what's not? Is it going to be the top five?
Came up with it. He came up with it. Yeah.
So by the end of the season, so currently the Raiders are, if the season ended today, they'll be picking number 8 overall in the draft.
Yeah.
But the what's real, what not statement is, this is where I say statement. You guys react to it. Let me know if it's real or not. Obviously, Severe is going to react to it as well as myself. But here's a statement. By the end of the season, the Raiders will have a top 5 pick. By the end of the season, the Raiders will be in the top 5, picking in the top 5. Is that real or is it not? By the end of the season, the Raiders will be picking in the top 5. They'll have a top 5 pick. Is that real or is it not? So currently, if the season ended today, they'll be picking number 8. But, as the season goes along, these teams start winning and losing. Do the Raiders get into that top 5, man? Is that real or is it not? Let me know in the chat, man. Severe, what you think?
Man, I'm going to say not real. Because I think we win 4 games. I think last year we won 4 games and where we pick at 6. So I think we probably end up winning 4 games. And I think we probably end up because this is some bad teams this year. Unfortunately, some of those teams are in the same division. They play each other. But I think we'll end up winning 4 games again and we'll end up picking like 6 or 7, unfortunately.
People in the chat saying real. I personally think it's not real. I think as a team, like talent-wise and how the way the team is playing, do they deserve a top 5 pick? Yes. But it's just the way, like you mentioned, you know what I mean? Like certain teams that are ahead of us, certain teams that are already, they're also bad teams and they're probably going to lose some games. And you got to factor in like Pete Carroll, he's going to try to win some of these games. And, and in him trying to win these games, it's going to push the Raiders out of the top 5, in my opinion. So I'm going to say it's not real. But Ricky says it's real. Brim says it's true. DA says real. Herb says real is F. Alfredo says real. Huey says real. I don't see another win besides the Jags or Browns.
Yeah.
Man, Browns got good defense though. I ain't gonna front, man. Myles Garrett, he's an angry man out there
Bro.
in Cleveland.
But he just put up 5 sacks in the game and they still lost.
And he could have got more too. He was mad when they took him out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that. He was pissed.
You put up 5 sacks and they lost, bro. That's crazy.
I know. They be out their damn mind if they start winning now, but
it's just what we'll do. That's bro. Pete Carroll is out of his damn mind. That's my point.
And that's how it's been the last few years. Why do you think I'm looking at QBs that I don't think are going to be like top 5 guys, like top 5? You know what I mean? I'm talking about Drew Allers. I'm talking about like, Brandon Sorsby, and like I'm looking at those quarterbacks. While like I'm not even thinking about Dante Moore's or the Mendozas or the Ty Simpson. Like I'm like, man, the way it's looked the last few years, like the Raiders have kind of been outside looking in when it comes to those guys, those quarterbacks, and the teams that are ahead of the Raiders. Not gonna lie, the Saints, they just benched Spencer Rattler. They drafted a second round QB in Tyler Show. Yeah, and what they're doing, as much as like Spencer Rattler is probably not playing his best football, he's turning the ball over a little bit. So they're going with the young guy that they drafted in the second round.
SS.
Bro, all they're doing is they're trying to evaluate the quarterback position, and they're like, okay, does he got it? Oh, he don't got it. We're not sure. Oh, we're drafting a quarterback because right now the Saints, if the season ended today, they're picking their first overall pick. Yeah, they're like right now they have, and it's like strength of schedule too as well because the Raiders' strength of schedule what's hurting the Raiders too because if it gets close or tied. What's hurting the Raiders is strength of schedule.
Yeah.
So even if it's a team that had like that have the same amount of loss and wins, they would end up picking ahead of the Raiders just because they had a weaker schedule.
Yeah.
If we had a better schedule, that means that we're gonna pick. Because if you look, I think Take-a-thon, they have them at number 8, and some of these teams, like right now, Baltimore is ahead. Oh, it doesn't even show his the records. But Baltimore is ahead. Giants picking at number 6. But the teams that could easily pick a quarterback, I could see the Saints picking a quarterback. I could see the Jets picking a quarterback. Cleveland taking a quarterback. Miami taking a quarterback. Miami's a dark horse taking a quarterback. I know they got Tua. But,
not a dark horse. They're for sure taking a quarterback.
I mean, Tua,
especially if they get rid of Daniel.
Exactly. That's like, we'll see, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 teams where you could see a quarterback going to that team easily.
Yeah, the Saints. Yeah, the Cleveland. I don't know if the Cleveland will do it. Possibly. Depends if Stefanski's still there or not.
Any given Sunday, Huey. Any given Sunday.
Well, it's 2. It'll be 2 because we already got 2 wins. So we could be end up with 4 wins. So we just need 2 more. Like Cleveland is a possibility. The Giants are a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, maybe 4 total wins. Yeah, 4 total. So we'll be 4-12.
Man. Damn, man. Like and this is another reason why I hate when the Raiders suck like this. Like, is that we got to play divisional teams, and I hate playing against like the Broncos when the Raiders are ass, and obviously the Chiefs. Because now the Broncos, they look like the better team. Easy right now.
Better team than who?
The Raiders.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I thought you meant like the Chiefs. I was like, that's debatable. But yeah, better than us. Oh, without it. I mean, there's very few teams in the league. You ask me who's a better team right now, us or the Saints? I'd be like, I don't know. Maybe it might be the Saints, bro. That's how bad we are. And I kind of like you said, but see, like, because I think somebody else was talking about it. I don't know who it was. Maybe it's Brett Coleman, but they're saying like, really, Spencer Rattler has played well enough to get a longer leash and and he should be allowed to play more. But the fact that he was a 5th round pick and the fact that they invested a 2nd round pick in Tyler Shuck and that they want to see what he looks like, that's why they're going to pull the cord on Spencer Rattler and play Shuck. Then also, as you kind of alluded to, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We get to look at our young quarterback, and if he's good, okay, bam, we have our quarterback of the future. And if he's bad, we get better draft position. So it's like it's a win-win scenario, and this is why the Raiders should do things like that. But we got a 74-year-old coach that's trying to grasp onto the past and like win for some reason, bro. Like that's why we want. That's why we want.
But you see how New Orleans like they're addressing the quarterback position, a numbers game.
Yeah.
They drafted Spencer Rattler. Oh, Spencer Rattler ain't doing it? Okay. Tyler Show. Oh, Tyler Show ain't doing it? Guess what? We're going to have a number 1 pick. We're going to have a top 5 pick. We're going to have a top 3 pick. Then they're going to end up drafting the top quarterback on the board. Look at how the Titans, I'm not saying Titans are like the epitome of how you run a franchise, but it's kind of a numbers game with them too as well, because they drafted in the 3rd round. I think they drafted that they end up trading them. They end up trading them to
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis in the 3rd round. Then the following year or a year later, a couple years later or a year later, they drafted Will Levis in the 2nd round. Didn't work out. They actually gave him a whole season to figure it out. And guess what? They got the number 1 pick. Boom. Got Cam Ward. You see what I'm saying? Like it's a number. Like they're like, hey, if they're addressing the quarterback position, it ain't working out. They're not developing the way they want them to develop, and then eventually they end up getting top. Like it's not stopping them from getting that quarterback position. But the Raiders, for whatever reason, they're like, oh, we're just gonna wait for the perfect moment. The perfect.
Exactly.
Like what do we?
That's crazy.
That's not how life works.
At all, man. Especially when you got a 74-year-old coach, man, you trying to win now, so you keep. I think somebody made an analogy before where it's like, instead of buying a brand new tire, you keep putting a patch on this old tire. Like, bro, eventually you're gonna run out of places to put a patch on, bro. You need a new tire. All right, take that old tire off.
We're gonna have to have a talk with Dan. He says, although I'm a realist, you're about to contradict yourself now. Although I'm a realist, I never doubt us. And I always think we're going to win every game. Come on, Dan.
Yeah, bro.
It's not a realist, though. Come on, man. It's not a realist.
You're doing so good in the beginning.
Emotional,
You started out strong, Dan. You started out strong with I'm a realist. I was like, okay, I see where Dan is taking this. And then you just hit a 180. Hit a 180 on this.
Hey, if Dan's a realist, he knows exactly what this means. If Dan's a realist. Oh man.
I even as a Raider fan, I can that you saying like, no, I'm a realist, and I always hope we're gonna go out and do it.
Any given Sunday, I do believe in that.
I've seen the movie a few times, and they I saw Jamie Foxx get his ass whooped in that movie too. But I always hope we're gonna, and in the beginning of the year, I hope we win. But once it comes down to, I know this team ain't going to be competitive at all, or at least because then at that point I was like, I started hoping for better draft picks, because I had hoped we would have got a better pick than Cleveland Farrell. I had hoped we would have got a better pick than Tyree Wilson. I had hoped we would have got a better pick than Ashton Genty. I hope we would have been in better positions to be able to draft a quarterback. And because we won too many games, we weren't in a position to do it at any of those times.
Dan is he's coming for us, man. He's just saying this. I'm not saying we're going to accomplish this, but how's it going to feel doubting everything? If we just make a nasty run and go wild card round, where's the faith?
See, that's the problem. Having blind faith. That's the problem.
Nah, man. Hey, Dan, come on, man. Like, this is look. You're talking to people. You're talking to, I can speak for myself, and it's severe as well. Obviously, we've seen this team lose year in, year out in different types of fashion, different types of ways, dysfunction every year, and you're expecting us to believe or have faith in it. Nah, they got to prove it. The Raiders got to go out and prove that they can win consistently. What did old coach for the Cardinals say back in the day?
You are who they thought they were.
But golly, man, like
Dan letting him off the hook. Dan letting him off the hook.
Oh, he's letting him off the hook, bro. He's letting him off the hook. I can't even find it, but y'all get what I'm trying to say, man. At the end of the day, like the Raiders got to earn everything, bro. They at this point they have to go out there and prove that they're a good team, that they can win consistently, that they can make smart decisions as a franchise. That's really what I want at the end of the day. I want the Raiders to be a smart team, make smart decisions. Like and it don't have to necessarily mean that they got to win right away, as long as it was a smart move. How many times, like, have we looked at the Raiders and be like, man, what are they doing? Like, when they hired Pete Carroll, I was like, what are they doing? Like, what are they doing? Like, they're just trying to, like, that was just I don't know whose idea was that. I want to know whose idea that was. If that was Mark Davis, and I've been staying away from Mark Davis just because I'm giving him the benefit of doubt, because he wants to have, like, when he had that interview a couple years ago with Tashawn Reed and said, oh, I'm not my father. My father, he was a great football guy and he had Ron Wolf. That's what's missing here. I need a football guy to run. I'm like, okay, at least he's honest. Like, he understands where he is in the totem pole. Like, he's the owner. He runs the franchise from a business standpoint, but at least he knows he doesn't know football. Cool. I'm cool with that. That means, like, he's going to hire the right people. But, when he makes comments like he did last week about, like, because, everybody's talking about Maxx Crosby getting traded, he's all like, how many times we have to tell him no? Like, how many times? I'm like, bro, come on, man. So and this is what Al Davis used to say about Mark too. I don't know if you remember what he said about Mark back in the day.
Too close to players. Yeah.
Because Al was ruthless. Al was ruthless. He was ruthless. He will trade you if it meant the Raiders were going to get better. He will trade you tomorrow.
Yeah.
So.
But that's kind of the problem. I mean, that's one of the things. I mean, we can get in. I mean, that'll be a whole nother conversation. But like Al Davis's treatment of players to some extent. But see, because people like,
I'm not new to this.
Talk about,
yeah, go ahead.
And I was saying, people talk about Al Davis being too close to players, but we hear stories about essentially Al Davis letting players overrule coaches and stuff like that, where it's like, all right, Al, like we want to hear that. But nah, Dan, you don't got to be new to this, man. It's like if you ever had a job, you worked at a job, and let's say there's a vending machine, right? And vending machine, it got your favorite snacks in there. And you be like, man, you be coming to work, like, man, I really want this. It's a Snickers. This is a Snickers. Like, man, I really want this Snickers. And you put $1 in there, and the vending machine takes your $1. And you end up with no Snickers. And you're like, damn, I really wanted that Snickers too. And then you walk away. You come back the next day, like, know what? I think I want a Snickers again. And you put that $1 in there, and the vending machine takes your $1. And you don't get the Snickers. And you're like, man, I really want that Snickers. Then you do it again. At what point do you be like, man, this vending machine is going to take my money? They taking my money, and I'm not getting a reward at the end of it. And then you walk by that vending machine, and standing right by the vending machine may be the janitor. And you be like, man, don't you want the Snickers? I see you come every day trying to get the Snickers. You're like, no, man, it done took like $8 from me, man. I'm tired of trying to get the Snickers out of there. And the janitor's like, why don't you have a little faith, Dan? Why don't you just have a little faith? It's like, nah, my faith ran out $4 ago, bro. My faith ran out $4 ago. And at this point, I just believe this machine is stealing from me. At this point, it's just stealing from me.
Yeah, man. Look, bro. Van says, I'm not new to this, being a fan since 76. So you've seen, he's seen like great teams. He's seen a few great teams, great teams. Blind faith is exactly what it should. Not with this, not with this version of the Raiders. No. Not with this version of Raiders. Like at the end of the day, like they got to prove that they can make good, smart decisions, win consistently. They got to prove that. And then after that, and if we got a franchise QB, I'm gonna have blind faith for sure.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm gonna have that belief like, we got a franchise QB. When I say franchise QB, I'm not talking about like, he's a good quarterback. I'm saying like he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Like you think there's a possibility that you could win, go all the way to the Super Bowl with and win, And if we got that, then I'm gonna be like, all right, we got something here. But until we get that, or at least a great team, because there's different ways you can win in the NFL. You either have a great quarterback, top 5 quarterback, and a good team around him, or you just got the Eagles. The Eagles just the best roster in the NFL. You got everything. You got no weakness. Yeah. So Raiders got a lot of work to do, and they got to figure that out. And once they figure that out, then maybe I'll have blind faith. Maybe.
Yes.
Alfredo says allegedly it was Brady that got Carroll the interview.
I believe it.
Damn, man.
He didn't want to set up. He didn't want to set up the Ben Johnson interviews.
And this is my biggest fear is Tom Brady not working out, because it's gonna set the team back a long. It's gonna be long because Mark is gonna give blind faith. Like if you want to talk about blind faith, Mark is gonna give blind faith to Brady, because he did with for a guy that he respects, because he respected Gruden and he gave him a 10-year contract. Yeah. He respect Tom Brady. He was like, here's a piece of the Raiders. He tried to give him a discount. But the NFL said, no, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah. But the thing about exactly. The thing about it, exactly. And it's different with Gruden, because he could have, Gruden could, that contract could have ran out. He could have fired Gruden at any point. Brady, I mean, he can kind of like put Brady to the background and make him not be a part of decision making anymore. But Brady is going to be forever a part owner of this team for as long as he has those shares. So he ain't going nowhere.
I need to get that sound bite, bro. Hey, Bosco, I got to get that sound bite. Oh, we suck again.
We suck again. Yes. Oh, man. That's so true, man. Boo this man. Boo this man.
But you still a Raider, though. My point.
Yeah, we still a Raider. But look, you can be real in your Raidering. You can be real in your fandom, man. I'm still a Raider. I still love this team. This team is, hey, I'm a ride or die through thick and thin. I ain't going nowhere. But at the same time, I'm also gonna realize, we suck. Like I'm not gonna be disillusioned about where we are as a franchise or as a team. Like we're bad, We've seen enough bad teams enough. Like I used to be one of those people telling people like, no, man, Lamont Jordan's about to change it all for us, like he's about to change it all for us. Oh, Aaron Brooks is about to do it for us. You saw what he did in New Orleans, didn't you? He about to do that with us. Kerry Collins, he a Super Bowl winner. Come on, bro. He won the Super Bowl. He about to transform this team. Cameron Wembley.
I was giving blind faith with Kerry Collins. Kerry Collins at quarterback. I was giving blind faith. I'm like, oh man, we got Randy Moss. But we got Kerry Collins at quarterback. And if your quarterback ain't that good, you're just not gonna win a lot of games. It's the reality. We're just realistic here, bro. We it's not like we don't like. We're gonna watch the team. We're gonna watch the games. You know what I mean? It's not like we're saying we're not gonna be fans of the team or follow the team anymore. But it's just we're gonna be realistic. We gotta call it like we see it. We're not gonna just go over here and be like, oh yeah, oh man, the Raiders, they'll figure it out. Like that's not my job to do that. That you know whose job that is to do? That's Pete Carroll's job, to talk to the team and be positive and try to figure out a way to move forward and win games. That's his job. My job is to, you know what I mean? That ain't my job. My job is to this is entertainment. Man. It's not even a job. This is entertainment at the end of the day. Like, it's not even a job. This is entertainment for me.
Entertainment. Yeah, exactly. And I just try to remove myself from the results now, because it's like, because I'd be wanting us, because when we had because at first I didn't want AP, and then when he beat the Chiefs on Christmas, I was like, well, damn, you know what, we gotta give this guy a chance. And then last year, you know what, I wanted him at this point. We got him. I wanted him to do well, but I also wanted us to get draft position. So I used to root for good games, but us to still lose, so we get draft position. But now I don't give a damn what happens. I don't give these dudes get blown the hell out. Like I don't really want anybody on this coaching staff here anymore. You can get rid of all these dudes. You know, like Patrick Graham. Hey, I love you, bro. I think you got a raw deal, but at this point, you know, you've been here for long enough. You don't want nuke you.
I think you got cut off. You still there?
Oh, I was. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. But we appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in at this point, clock out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Great show, great conversation as usual, man. We appreciate everybody pulling up. The greatest late night show, Raiders show out there, man. We appreciate everybody pulling out, coming through and supporting, and just the best way you can support us, obviously, because we're going live on both our channels, is like I said, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if it's your first time joining us. Head over to Severe Raiders channel. Obviously, if you ain't subscribed to myself, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We got to remind you, because sometimes y'all forget, man. Sometimes y'all forget. It's all good. We'll give you that friendly reminder. Severe, man, let the people know where they can find you, what to look forward to, all that good stuff.
Yes, sir, man. The Severe Raider here on YouTube, IG, Snapchat, TikTok, X. Basically all social media, the Severe Raider. And they find me every Sunday and Wednesdays with my guy in the Raider Roar Room. Obviously, Tuesdays and Thursdays with my dog Pharaoh with the 50-50 show and Around the Shield. And coming probably this Monday, man. You know, I had some stuff happen this previous Monday. Man, it was a rough Monday for your boy. But coming this Monday, man, holla at your boy, man. Solo show coming soon.
There you go, man. And we'll be back at it again later this week, man. Around the Shield. Make sure to tune in. We'll have some guests. We'll chop it up. Raiders do play the Jaguars this week, so they're not on a bye week this week, but they're going to be playing a team, and we're going to see what it's going to look like, especially getting blown out. What was it, 31-0 against the Chiefs? So Let's see how they respond from that after a bye week. But the thing is, too, the Jaguars are coming off a bye, too.
Yep.
So that should have been a healthy advantage for the Raiders, but you know how the league works, man.
Man.
It is what it is. But yeah, we'll be back at it later this week, and just make sure to tune in, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, all that good stuff. 50-50 show. We'll be back here next Tuesday. Tune in for the latest and greatest of any new content that we drop. And then also make sure to follow Around the Shield on X and on IG. Make sure to go ahead and do that. And we're, for the latest Raider news, rumors, podcast clips, memes, everything, they got it. We got it. Definitely go ahead and subscribe or follow Around the Shield on X and on IG, man. We appreciate everybody coming through and supporting the show, having this great conversation. Dan, man, hey, man, I appreciate you, Dan. Dan's just super positive, man.
Dan's super face.
Hey, is this Pete Carroll? I think this is Pete Carroll. This might be Pete Carroll. Hey, Dan.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
Man, hey, man, shout out to everybody. But besides our team being sorry, it's hard to even discuss football with casual NFL fans because our fan base is labeled as delusion Raider fans. Gotta respect brothers like, hey, man, appreciate you. Hey, Bosco coming through, always dropping facts as well. Appreciate you coming through. We'll be back at it, man. We're just being honest, man. We're not saying whether we're right or wrong or anything like that. We're just having an honest conversation. Within that conversation, hopefully we get to he says nope. All right, man. All good, man. Appreciate everybody coming through. Any last thoughts, Severe, before we head out?
I would like to get in contact with Dan if you'd like to make some friendly wagers for the rest of
that's cold, brother, man. Don't do that to Dan. Dan, don't believe this, man. Don't bet. Don't gamble.
It's wrong, Dan.
Don't gamble at all this year. Don't gamble at all with the Raiders.
Do you not believe in your team, Dan?
That's hilarious. That's funny, man. But we up out of here, man. We'll see you on Thursday, man. Peace.
Just win, baby.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.